Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sony Series Finals here for the Call of Duty side of things, 2v2 S&D. My name's Chris Tunn, joined by Tactical Rab, and as mentioned, it is the NA side of things that we promised earlier on in the evening. We had a cracking time over in Europe, and now it's time to jump over the pond to the North American side of things. And as mentioned, I'm joined by Tactical Rab. And Rab, I mean, how fun was the EU side of things? Now jumping over, it's going to be super interesting.
Absolutely, Ton. Pleasure to be here once again alongside you. Honestly, I'm looking for the North American boys here to put up, honestly, well, some great performances, right? In Europe, we saw some phenomenal stuff coming out of those lads, especially in those final rounds. Some great 1 versus 2s. Came down to the wire in that final raid. And yeah, what a tournament it was. The winners walk away with the, well, we'll look at the prizes here in just a second, but the North American guys, looking for them to really put up a similar showing, because we had some great Call of Duty on display. The pressure was on North American to, well, prove that they can still do it.
Yeah, we need to see some similar level of Call of Duty. There's what we've seen in Europe, which was pretty high towards the end. But if you are not aware of how things do break down in this competition, let's bring you through the format, of course. 2v2 Search and Destroy, the tried and tested modes, of course. Best of 3, first to 6, with the maps being Checkmate, Express, Miami, Moscow, Raid. But the difference here is that each round you play the same map 3 times. So it's a best out of 3 on the same map. What we're going to see in the quarterfinals is Miami, Moscow in the semis, and then for the final we go to Raid. So it's a little bit of a different format to what some of you may have watched in 4v4, but something that it needs you to have a very well-rounded Search and Destroy, in fairness, doesn't it, Rab? It makes things very, very interesting. But moving on towards the bracket, of course, we are into the quarterfinals, and we have 4 games coming up for you here live, of course. We've got one of the quarterfinals, both the semis, and then the grand final, which will be coming up later on this evening. Thanks for the COD points. That's a pretty good segue into the prize pool, if anything, because those guys are going to be looking to try and move on and win this, of course. $200 and 13,000 COD points for first place. Tactical Rab, what you buying from the store? Tell me.
Oh, there's so much good stuff in there at the present time. You can scroll through, see all the goodness, make sure what you're rocking in League Play is up to date with all the latest gear. And yeah, funny to see. Thanks for the COD points down there in the lower bracket, or the lower half of the bracket. They're going to have, well, obviously they're looking to get those COD points right, but if they don't win their quarterfinal, they'll be out of the money and out of the COD points. So looking to see them live up to their name here, Ton.
That's what it's for. It's all about getting the COD points, but it's about having fun as well, Rabin. Well, okay, if you're going to put a name like that, you need to go far, let's be honest. But if you want to come up with your own cocky little team name, then who knows? You could join us here at compete.playstation.com. We're running tournaments every single month here with Sony, and it's just great to see small tournaments like this being put on for everybody in different games as well. And anybody can sign up. Anybody can go in for that first place prize. Rab, we were theorizing whether or not we should enter ourselves and see if we could get away with it. I think in Europe we would have a decent little shot. I've seen some questionable players as well as some good ones, but you know, like from the outside looking in, I think we do all right. But nonetheless, you guys at home obviously can sign up and inevitably do better than me and Rab would do. At the same time though, Rab, 2v2 Search and Destroy, it's not quite as simple as some would make out, especially on a map that we're going to be jumping into on the quarterfinals like Miami.
Absolutely. Miami was really interesting what we saw these teams pull out earlier today. We saw a lot of slow offenses, slow defenses, and the teams that tended to have the greater success were the ones that just played their offenses aggressively, got the bomb down, and went for it from there. We saw on the defense a lot of times players were trying to split up, one towards B, one towards A, trying to get some information on the crosses. And that's what's so interesting about Miami. There's certain spots you can look at where you give yourself like a 90% chance that you'll see the guy crossing to the bomb site. And if you get that information, you put yourself in a great position to win the round. Especially in 2v2, information is incredibly important. We'll see that play out on all our maps we'll see today. And yeah, well, up next, TV versus Pure Clan. This is the first match we're going to see here on this Miami Search and Destroy time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Of course, a lot of these players are players unknown to us as well. So coming at this, if you're on Twitter, any of the guys who are sitting there watching and playing at the same time, hit us up, let us know how you're feeling about going into this tournament. Very excited to see what you guys can show off. Because, hey, look, this is like the base level of competition to maybe root yourself up to bigger things. You never know. You come into this 2v2 and you maybe think to yourself, hey, you know what, we did all right. Let's see if we can take it a step further. Maybe you're a bit of a demon in League player and you want to make that extra step. It's all just about that progress, isn't it? And yes, okay, 2v2 S&D isn't what's played at the highest of levels of things, but it's a good step in the right direction, isn't it, Rob? So interested to see if any of these players do take a further step from this, but it's nonetheless good to just get some competition underneath your belt.
Absolutely. There's so many players they're out there now that have made it to the pro level that, I mean, they started down here in the pit, right, in the 2 versus 2, 1 versus 1 arenas, and dominating these tournaments, helped get their names out there. That was really a massive stepping stone for some of those players to make their way up throughout the scene, and it's going to continue going forwards as well. These tournaments are, well, a great way to do that. And here we go, Tad, already straight into this Miami Search and Destroy game, one of the day in the North American side.
Look at that. The admins have got us into the game 3 minutes in. It's always nice to gas up the guys behind the scenes as well, so you get plenty of love in the Discord at the same time. You've got to be nice to all your colleagues, but wow, the guys are on point right now, and we are loading into game number 1 immediately into the Miami Search and Destroy. And look, we're just interested to see if we can get some names in here and sort of see how some people are playing, because 2v2, as mentioned, it is very, very different. It's not your standard, but let's see who's going to start setting some pace pretty much immediately as we head in with TB against Pure Clan. And it should be an interesting one. Miami is, as said, one that can be played in a couple of different ways, but getting that bomb down nice and early doesn't hurt you on the attacking side. And if you're on the defensive side of things, what you're going to play, as we can see, it's looking like an A hold for the most part from Pure Clan, going for the 2-man stack and moving together. Bomb site now going over towards A, and it's going to be GOAT making the push.
Wow, this is a really interesting run as it's developing, because we see Pure Clan, both of the lads are running down mid. Swerfy is trying to watch the flank. Somehow they think it's B, but in fact, it's going all the way over by A. Oh my words. He gets caught off guard. And that's not ideal. I mean, what a weird play for Pure Clan. It works out for them. And honestly, like, GOAT had a chance to plant the bomb there. He's making such an unorthodox play all the way through A. Now he's at B. But Pure Clan kind of know what's going on here. There's some 360s coming in on the minimap. Yeah, GOAT's going to get this one down, Ton, as the retake looks to come in.
Yep, GOAT does get it down. And is now waiting for this push to come through. No, he's not going to be playing this horrible angle towards the garage side, of course, on the wall. They'll have a good idea that he is obviously on this side of the map, but they've got to check a few different places, and time is ticking down. 25 seconds now on the defuse as Pleb, and will he get caught? No, he will not. Stim is there. The 2v1 comes through, and that's the first round of the day on the NA side of things, going over to Pure Clan.
Yeah, that was nicely done from the Pure Clan guys. I mean, not really the best spot to find yourself in that 1 versus 2. You're stuck in that corner. When you hop over the wall, they're definitely going to hear you. So not the ideal spot. And you can see right there, the guys on Pure Clan immediately hop off the bomb. They know he's come over the wall and they get the job done. Really interesting offensive setup. I love the idea of splitting up on offense, having one guy try and get it down at A and then the other one playing from a long way away. But yeah, it wasn't really executed to perfection there from TB. But of course, they can bounce back here on the defense.
Jumping into things now. See what does happen on the attack now for Pure Clan. It's looking like a B hit towards the lower dock side.
Taking it all the way through.
Yeah. No risky maneuvers. Stim with a stun out though.
Split things up today, huh?
Yeah, they are splitting things up. But that gives a little bit of information. The fact that he sends that stun over just for information for himself gives the information to the other team. Like, okay, well, they're probing in and around B. Only going to make a move on this one. Swerfy playing this one nice and slowly. GOAT now going to get his way over towards the site. Shot's going to come in from top purple though. Swerfy can't find the shots to finish this one off. Tagged up as well. They chase him. And well, he gets out. And all of a sudden, it's a 2v2 with both players on both teams in and around the bomb site. GOAT now can see Stim. Didn't want to take the shots unnecessarily. Goes for the shots there. And now we'll get rid of him. It's going to be Pleb left alone in a 1 versus 2.
And they should probably have heard that one.
Yeah.
But it's 274 U's here for TB. And Pleb's in a nice position to clutch this one up, but Swerfy gets the knowledge, does lose the gunfight though. And now Pleb, if anything, is the advantage. 15 seconds to stop the defuse coming in. Is he going to hob over this wall? If he does, he might give the perfect opportunity to go, but Goat goes the other way. And wow, Pleb is going to take this 1 versus 2 clutch. Loses the gunfight, but it doesn't matter. And you got to think, once again, we saw it earlier today a little bit in the European region ton. These, retakes coming in a little bit slower than we might have liked. And that gives Pure Clan another round win.
Yep, does well played by Pure Clan that. 2-0. Just nicely played by Pleb. He takes his time, doesn't need to challenge anything. And there you go. 2-0 now. That's an attack and a defense under their belts, so a nice start. Goat has found kills though, 2-1 from him. Just not able to close things out. So into round number 3, and let's see if anything does change up here.
Absolutely. I mean, this is going to be have to be not necessarily a massive comeback. They're only down 2-0, but we did see earlier today that some of the disparity between these teams in the quarterfinals can be kind of stark. But I don't know if we're seeing that early on here. I'm kind of interested that TB have pulled out a lot of 74 U's early in this game. Usually you'd expect the Krig to be the way to go on this map. Once again, we see it here from Swerfy. I guess the job not on that one, though. So what can you really say? And Goat in a perfect position to get it down. Seems like he will do.
Yep.
And Pleb in an almost impossible spot.
Yeah, it's super difficult here. I'm curious what he's running, actually. Just, what was it? Did he have a 7-4U? Yes, he did. And well, he'll find the first fight. Needed to get rid of the player towards the hotel. It's one of those, isn't it? Because you know the angle that they can hold, but Goat has spotted him. Grenades out, utility out, maybe a bit overzealous from Goat, who's now going to run away. If I'm Pleb, I'm jumping this. Oh, he goes for the challenge.
So
Goat very weak.
Oh, he just about gets away. And Goat with 13 seconds left. All he's got to do is stay alive. What was going on there?
I mean, he could have taken the gunfight, but knows he doesn't need to do anything crazy. There it goes. Goat now should win this round, and there you go. A round for TB with the chal from Goat. Love to see that from him. Now 2-1.
Yeah, not easy by any means, and still, this double 74U setup, I would not have expected this to work, because my concern would be, it seemed like the setup they wanted to go for is, as I was talking about earlier today, we haven't really seen any teams employ it yet, but one guy stays driveway, the other plants the bomb, and you can just watch the bomb across the map. But the Krig is the weapon that you really want in your hands if you're going to make that happen. 74U, it gets kind of sketchy in those long ranges at times.
Looking like an air hit coming out from Pure Clan here. The heavy B setup from TB up. And well, the slow push from Pure Clan, and imagine, will probably give the jig away. Is that a saying?
Here comes that rotation though. Quick on the draw, and Smurfy's getting him.
Yeah, Smurfy does have him, and now Goat putting pressure on low-key Pleb. I don't know if they expected that to kill him, but they are going to rotate around now. He has plenty of time on his side here. That's the only thing. Not really much else, though. It looks like Swerfy, I should say, is watching the bomb site all the way from hotel, and without the bomb, Pleb is not really in the best of spots to pull this one off. Although he does have the Krig against the 7-4U at distance. Should be alright, but the problem is he's now got not a lot of time at all to get this bomb down when they have eyes on him. This should be around over towards TB, barring a miracle.
Wow, he's going to go for it as well, but he's not going to say yes to that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, really well played. The discipline from TB was impressive, to say the least. They get one kill on Pure Stim right here. We saw a quick rotation as well. Earlier today, we saw a lot of like, oh, let's let them plant and then hit the rotate. No, the rotate quick. Kill him as he plants, and then play very disciplined, right? Swerfy backs all the way up, he knows the bomb's down, and yeah, didn't give Loki Pleb a chance to win that one, which is impressive stuff. 2-2.
Very well played. Yeah, I mean, they just didn't present the opportunity, did they? At all. Here we go. To the next round. Looking like an 8 hit out of TB, who've really bounced back after 2 very quick rounds for Pure Clan. That's the thing. There's so many different scenarios you can play out on Miami, can't you? I think with Moscow and Raid, it can be a lot harder hitting, whereas Miami is kind of a little bit more drawn out. Just the size of the map makes it a little bit more difficult in 2v2s, I suppose. Oh, Pleb's going to spot a goat, though, who should be dead to rights. Gets away. Now he's chasing him down. Is he going to get him with a 7-4? You should win this gunfight at this range. Not quite, though. Pleb gets it done. Maybe just not close enough. Swerfy, though, you're going to be caught slipping on the beach, I would imagine. Just playing it slowly, but again, it's the 7-4 use, Rab. Like in this scenario, you quite like to have a Krig, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's all I'm confused at. Like, I don't understand the post-plant setup they're trying to play here with the 74 use in hand.
Well, exactly. Like, if you get it down at A, you can set up on Catamaran. Like, yeah, exactly. Swerfy now with 11 seconds.
Trapped in here completely. Yeah, there's no way.
There's no way he gets this one down. Pure Clan win on the board after 2 rounds that leak away. Strange ones though, isn't it? Like what's as we were saying, like what's the plan when you get it down with a 7-4U there? Like, I understand.
I'd like to see one Krig, right? I mean,
yeah. Like I can understand one 7-4U, but Krig's really the way to go here. If anyone else is watching, or you know, if you want to take tips, I'll not charge you this time around, but. I would like to say that the Krig is definitely the... I mean, look, if you're hitting B hard, yeah, okay, 7-4 use 2 of them, that's fine. But I think if you're going for the slow A to get the bomb down, I kind of think the Krig's the better shot. But speaking of a slow round at A, well, this is going to be the complete opposite of that by the looks of things. Pure can't get aggressive. The legs have been spotted. Goat waits for the push. Here you go. Easy kills. Not quite. Oh. Does get it. 1v1 now. Swerfy looking for the trade through. The trophy system's doing their job. And Stim will survive and live to tell the tale of that 1v1 about his teammate. Just nearly getting a hold of Goat there, who did eventually clean the kill up, but as mentioned, 1v1, 45 seconds to go.
Yeah, good patience from Goat not to take that kill initially, because sometimes you don't get aim assist under those vans like that, and it can make things challenging. Throwing those stuns there is always dodgy as well, because it can get caught on the steps, and then you might get no info at all. But he's going to rotate off. And Swerfy, he loves this spot up in the top purple right here. But is Stim going to go back to B? I feel like he is. Unless he just dodges away. Seems to be somewhat confused about what they want to do here.
Well, the bomb's going down now.
I wonder if he got a sound cue there. And he's going to prance out towards the site. And takes the kill.
Very nicely done. Finds the kill and will take the round. 42 now. Just played patience. I think in that scenario, though, it's hard to ascertain where the other guy with the bomb's going to go, really, isn't it? It does make it very, very difficult. As it goes 3-3, sorry, I should say. Because it's 50-50. I mean, he could wrap it around, but he could stick around. So you just hold your place. Know that you can't really be pushed from more than one angle in that scenario. And it just makes it a little bit easier if he does plant today. Or B, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough one. I mean, I'm somewhat intrigued that he decides to get the bomb down at B there, because to me, in a 1v1, A is just the way to go if you have the option, because you can plant it safe, you can plant it open, you can see it from a million different places. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's a 50-50, right? And Swerfy catches him off guard. Over towards the boats here. There's some crazy angles over there, but once again, a heavy B defense. And Swerfy may have caught a glimpse of... Oh my god, is he going to get caught in the side? These gunfights are going down crazy.
Oh my word.
Loses it to Stim though, wow. But still, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. The bomb on the very other side of the map. We saw this a couple of times earlier today. That, like, if anything, I think this is closer to a 50-50 than it is anything else. Because it takes a lot of time to hit the retake here. Goat's over towards that bottom building. And it's very tough to predict where he's going to be playing it from. Pleb will probably look to where the bomb is planted to try and get some indication. But you can see they've got to clear out the boats. By the time they get there, it's a great chance in this round.
Yeah, Goat's not really playing a typical angle for this one either. Usually possibly hotel. Or, of course, the Catamaran, but he reads it at the right time. Goat will get the first shots off, and Pleb has to challenge it. Goat knows he does not have the time. Try and defuse it now, son. There we go. Another round is going to go over towards TB. I would have liked to see Goat find that kill, and I don't know if you can shoot bodies when you lost the round. But a TB win comes through 4-3 now.
Yeah, that's just what I love to see, right? Like, this is, I think, the way to play Miami Search and Destroy is to try and get it down at A and then just see what happens, because it's the same way on Raid sometimes. On the B bomb site, you get it down over there, you can see it from so many angles. It's really hard for defense to retake, even a 1v2. Miami especially so. We see that executed to perfection. That's why I think, if anything, offense is favored on this map. And even when Pure Clan make a nice play, both of them hit B, they get the kill without it being traded, they still lose the round, right? And that shows why trying to stop the A plant is probably really important. And that's what TBL trying to do right here by playing super aggro up mid.
Oh, they went for it. Oh, they're going to catch them. Goat from behind. There's two of the easiest kills he will have all day. And all of a sudden, it's 5-3 to TB. Look at this. Peeks round. Oh, what's that? You ran up piano stairs and you haven't checked behind? Got him. Goat finds two. Very, very nicely done. The aggression pays off for TB. Goat is 8-4. Having a very, very good game here. And they're one round away from going 1-0 up here on the quarterfinals. Of course, be watching one of these, both the semi-finals and then, of course, the grand finals into the wee hours of the morning for us, Tactical Rab, of course. But we live and breathe it, don't we? So no complaints. No complaints at all. Some good Call of Duty being on offer on the EU side of things, and the NA side living up to expectations so far as well. It's going to be a hit over towards A. And looks of things from TB. Is it the old switcheroo though? They go back through hotel, yeah, throwing us off guard.
Maybe they're switchering the switcheroo, because Goat's staying over there looking for some info. Probably with the 74 you in hand again and trying to take a gunfight. But I trust him, right? He's been hitting some clean shots these last few rounds. But yeah, really interesting to see how these teams are playing this out, because I'm still slightly suspicious of TB's strategy here, but it might be working for them, and Sim might very well get caught off guard here by a player. You've got to be prepared for this. Yeah. It's not going to happen. And the bomb's going to go down at A again. Like, they've done this a few times now and had a guy at driveway. Not clearing that is going to spell his doom, and probably going to spell the end of this round, because TB have been very competent in these 1 versus 2s, and it's going to happen again. TB walk away with it 6-3. The 274 you set up working to perfection here in Miami, and they move up 1-0 in our series.
Well, it's an absolute dream. Somehow. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but nonetheless, honestly, I just think they played the S&D maybe a little bit better. I think outside of the weapons, I think they win that with 2 Krigs, never mind 2 7.4Us. Maybe a little bit easier with 2 Krigs in fairness. But I suppose the only thing with the 7.4U tactic, I think, when it comes to Miami, is that you get the bomb down, you play it close. I suppose. I just think in some situations the Krig's never a bad weapon to have. But let's have a look back at some of the best moments from that game number 1. And it was kind of very, very close at the start, and that is a theme we had throughout the European side of things, actually, wasn't it? Close games towards the start would go like 2-2, 3-3, and one team would just stretch their legs and get away from the other side. This time around, it was TB who did that, but close game for the most part. But eventually, as I said, TB just stretched the legs.
Absolutely, yeah. And we saw some not necessarily innovative things, but this from Goat in this round, we're under the truck, eventually gets a kill before getting traded, and Swervy manages to clutch that up when they're actually down in the map at this point. So that was a nice play. We saw that, not necessarily an innovation, but the round that Goat ran down mid as well, got the 2-piece in the back. That was something we really haven't seen too many teams do. A lot of teams will just set up shop in mid-map with the Krigs and just kind of wait for the action to come to them on the defenses. But often, as we talked about in this map, being aggressive on your offense and your defense can be the way to play it, and it works out perfectly for Go right there. And yeah, I just thought this round from Stim, if he goes all the way around, probably finds a way to win that. But the adaptation not quite coming through.
Yeah, and I think something to point out with that tactic idea of being aggressive. If it ends up being a 2v2 on the bomb site, then well, yeah, okay, you've just got to win your gunfights, and you can kind of go from there. If you manage to get a free bomb site, which can sometimes happen, of course, the defensive side of things can go solely onto one site, then all of a sudden you've got a free bomb site. You can get that bomb down. You've got a 2v2 retake on Miami, which, as you spoke about at the beginning of the EU show, it's a hard retake, whatever site you go onto. It's very much it's not easy to defend the bomb, but there's very much a lot of spots you can pick up. You can play it quite passively. You kind of can wait on them coming to you. You don't need to be checking the bomb every 15 seconds. You can find yourself in a spot where you can just keep an eye on that bomb. There's plenty of cover, catamaran, then obviously the wall over towards that B-side garage. So many different places you can set yourself up. So getting the bomb down nice and early on Miami would be the tip. And it seemed to start to work out a little bit more for TB there towards the end. Once it was down, those SMGs, yes, okay, we question it. If they're going to play up close and personal, then it does work out. And it works out in the end for them. They will take a 1-0 series lead here in the quarterfinals. An interesting start of things. If you agree or disagree with the strat, you can get involved and maybe put up your own strats at compete.playstation.com. Keep an eye out for the tournaments that are coming up every single month. And it's been a blast so far. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest with you. You know, as I said, we've seen some questionable plays, but that's what makes it fun. We can sort of delve into them and maybe pick around the players' brains for the theory behind it, Rob.
Absolutely. I mean, I always think the 2 versus 2 search and destroy is kind of a minefield. You can probably make a lot of plays work if you do it together. And you have the gun skill to make it work. But I think that on some of the later maps we'll see today, definitely the case that you have to be, well, maybe much more gun skill focused maps. Like if you're winning your fights, you're probably going to take the series. But early on here on Miami, generally I think strategy comes into a lot more. If you can get the bomb down, doesn't matter if you're shooting circles, you can, it's going to be difficult to retake these sites. So we'll have to see how things develop here in game 2. I'd be intrigued to see if there's more plants over towards B, because earlier today we saw a fair few attempts where the bomb would go down at B, someone goes over towards that wall by the C in a perfect position to take down the rounds. Hasn't really happened so far, so I wonder if TB will decide, all right, we won that game pretty impressively, let's now think, all right, okay, maybe they'll adapt to our A strats that we were putting off to great effect, let's now go to B, maybe the 74U's even more effective over there. You know, could be impressive. I'm expecting TB to find a way to close this one out.
Yeah, it was good performance from them all the way through Miami Search and Destroy there. And, well, we'll go over towards Miami Search and Destroy again. I think, we kind of rang true a little bit throughout the EU side of things earlier on this evening that if you win one of the first maps, usually it does indicate that the second one's going to go in the same direction. I think just due to, obviously, not necessarily the practice, but the experience, the presence on each of these maps. You go into the same map again, and, well, I think if you're Pure Clan here on the blue side now, you sort of say, right, what is the plan? How do we change things up here? And, well, it's a very aggressive defense coming out from TB. And this is kind of the strat we'd see in 4v4 quite a lot, where teams will get very aggressive over towards the B site. And the thing is, you can transition quite quickly from Piano over towards A.
And he's trying to get that spot, isn't he? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just seen that angle there. Yeah, very nice stuff. We saw this before where one player would play like inside garage, one player would watch the A cross, and as soon as they get that cross info, they head over for the immediate retake. And this is the thing from Pure. You know that they've seen you. You can't just get it down. And, I mean, right now, if you're TB, you know that they're in your spawn. And player number 5 in Swerfy's in a great spot here because he's probably going to be able to see that entire cross all the way back to B. If he does keep on it, yeah, he probably has seen them right there. So this is the information that you want 100% if you're TB, and they're going to trap them in. Stim gets caught as well by Goat. This is just perfectly played defense right now. Let's see if they can close this one out.
Yeah, they should be able to. Pleb not really in the most ideal of spots and needs the bomb. Well, you just don't have time, do you? We've seen quite a lot of this, in fairness, when it has come down to the wire. Most teams just running out of time to do anything. Good shots into Swerfy, and well, I don't think he's going to be challenged. There's no need for it. Well, okay, there was no need for Goat to challenge, but nonetheless, he will come on through and find that kill. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I just think that's a clinic on how to play Miami defense, to be honest, right? You get all the information in the world, you trap them into your spawn, you get the kills from behind, and honestly gave Pure Clan like pretty much no chance to win that at any point in the round. And that's how to play defense here on Miami, and that's how to use the 74 used to good effect at times. And Pure Clan now, if you're in their shoes, you're like, down 1-0, just lost the first round here again.
Yeah.
It's looking slow. It's tough to come back from that mentally.
It's difficult. It really is, especially being down in the series, of course, as well. Not an ideal spot. B control looking like it's going to be given up, but I quite like this from Pure Clan, but I would have liked it more if he hit his shots. Don't mind that. You watch the cross, you can get plenty of damage in. You got your teammate in hotel as well. It's maybe something can be done.
Look at this play. He's hitting that back alley.
Yeah,
What's going on?
He will not expect that if he goes back round. I don't mind this from TB either, though. They're kind of trying to read the retake.
Yeah, and it's interesting how, like, player number 2 in Pleb seems to kind of not be aware that this is a possibility. He's not looking for it. He may get caught here again. He does indeed. I'm surprised that he wasn't ready for that possibility, but they have no idea that Stim's inside Evermore Hotel here. And he is in a good spot to make this happen. With 23 seconds, they just have time to get to A if they want to. Or they might just head back, and it looks like Stim's going to get caught. Wow. Like, precision plays, right? But get the kill back alley. They seem to know that Stim was in there. Maybe they caught a glimpse of him earlier. I guess they caught a glimpse of him right there. And Goat gets the kill again. Wow. I mean, honestly, I like the defensive rotate. They rotated to be early. They were in a good position, but the 74 U's come up trumps in those close range fights, Tom.
Yeah, they really have done. It's been very, very good. So far, so good for TB. Well, I mean, it's mostly been good. 4-0 now from him. Fantastic play so far from TB. Getting the job done. And, well, one player over towards B, and that is going to be Swerfy. Is he going to get himself in dark corner? Looks that way. So Pure Clan are going to be pushing into this. I think TB will recognise very shortly that A is not the hit, but how much damage can Swerfy do here?
We saw 1v2 from this position earlier in the European finals, or not 1v2, but a 2-piece. They didn't check it. This time, they're not going to check it either. Well, Stim did kind of try and check it, but the rotate, well, the trade comes in, and the rotate now in from Goat. And Goat 4-0 on a 4 spree, feeling hyper confident. And Pleb's going to back down. And the bomb is down on the site. It's kind of ugly, right? You've got a Krig. You're thinking, oh, do I have to go through purple right here with the Krig in hand? Could get in a close range fight. You know Goat's got the 74U. So decides to go for the full wrap. But what is this spot from Go? Like, is he watching everything? This guy a wizard? Wow, what is this? This is an incredible
Look at
play.
these angles.
He's bringing it all out here, Umami.
Yeah, he knows where the bomb is. That's the thing. Bomb now going down. Has he the angle? Yes, he has. And Goat continues his reign of terror across Miami. Trades come through here, but then all of a sudden that's the info. His teammate must have given the info of the bomb down as well. Knows they haven't crossed. Can play out his life. 5-0.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised at the fact that player, when he went to get the bomb down there, decided to do so on that side of it. Like, usually, you obviously don't know where the final player is, but typically you want to plant on the safer side so that you can get towards the wall and hold it from there. But, I mean, might be seeing some more gunfights come down here, and it could be another 2-piece for Goat. They might get ready for him here.
Oh, he still hasn't died yet. Oh, lots of shots going to come through. Eventually, he is going to get taken down. Pleb and Stim combining well, and this time Swerfy is not in a position to help.
And they know very well the bomb's down. Pleb's going to the driveway. Perfect play. Oh, and he might catch Swerfy off here. Yeah, gets the knowledge. He surely can't get away with his life. Oh my god, we're not going to see another smoke clutch done.
Surely not.
Oh, this round is surprisingly interesting now.
Yeah, it is. He should still get traded nonetheless. Yeah, there you go. Pure Clan will get it. 3-1 now. And I mean,
that was nicely done, right? They all did that together.
It goes on as long as it needed to, but that was much better from Pure Clan. Stick that together, and then all of a sudden they get rid of Goat, and it's a 2v1 in their favour. And Swerfy really can't do a great deal from there. I think into the next round, though. Let's see. Can TB keep this up, or can Pure Clan drag themselves back into it?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? If you're Swerfy, you know your teammate's going off on the main stage, he dies, and you're thinking, oh, you know, it's my turn to clutch up here. And that slide will more than likely have been heard. So, again, well, we're seeing the 274 U's. I mean, why fix what isn't broken? But still, this is an opportunity where, if I'm Pure Clan, I'm trying to adapt to a play like this. And I'm trying to get it down quick at A, take advantage of the poor positioning here. But maybe it's not poor if it works. And Stim just has the bomb sitting below purple. And that's going to give the Goat the time to realise, okay, it's time to head out of here. But Pleb's in middle. Oh my god, this spot seems suspect with Goat on the prowl.
Oh, yep, he has been spotted and Goat will get out. Stim now going to be making the push. Is Swerfy going to come around behind him? No, he's just going to play up top. Knows that if a push up top piano is going to be coming in, yeah, you can watch it. Goat's going to check this as soon as Swerfy sees them. He's going to start coming behind. Is Swerfy going to need help, though? That's the question. Yes, he is. Pleb falls. Only 12 seconds here. Goat can really take his time. He knows he has to plant a B. Even if he doesn't stop him planting, he can get on him straight away. There you go. Goat with another clutch up, although that's one of the easier ones. 4-1 now. Very, very nicely done by the side of TB. They're kind of walking away with this here, Rab.
Yeah, it's got to be said, it was very nicely done once again by Goat. I mean, Swerfy really wins in that round, right? He gets the kill when it matters, puts Goat in the perfect situation to clutch, and I got to say, the timing from Goat was just impeccable, right? Like, he waits just the amount of right time to make sure that the guy's probably planting and probably isn't waiting for him, because it's always a concern in a 1v1. You don't want to look like an idiot when you go and check the bomb, and the guy's just waiting for you to check it. So yeah, really nicely played again. I don't really think I've seen him misplay a single situation so far this game. And yeah, 4-1 up. This is the thing. If you're PureClan, it really going to have a moment of inspiration here to come back in this one.
It's difficult, isn't it? Like, what's the plan? How do you get back into this one? So tough. Let's see if they can somehow manage it.
This is the play here. So was number one seen him there? Has Stim seen the info on the cross? May well have done, because Pleb's going to go and check it, and Stim's sitting down mid-street. But here's Swerfy in a deep back position, and I kind of like playing Miami like this. I think it can be a great setup if you can catch someone, but the problem is, for Goat at least, is that Stim has snuck through mid-map, and Swerfy has absolutely no idea.
Swerfy is doing the square root of absolutely nothing back there, has to be said. And yeah, well, there it is. It's going to fall down. I mean,
bomb's down.
I don't really get what the plan was there. And now you've got to hit towards beach with a 7-4U, and well, there you're dead. I mean, that's it.
Interesting decision. To say the least. Yeah.
Is that the word you want to use? Interesting.
Yeah, I think it was pretty interesting. I mean, I get what Swerfy's going for, right? He can hold the entirety of the garage push. He can see if anyone goes top balcony. But if someone just runs down mid or runs down, I mean, as they did that round, as Stim did that round, you've got no information. So, and that's the thing. Info is all but important. And Goat just gets shot in the back as a result of it. But PureClan taking matters into their own hands here. They're like, we're going A, we're going to execute quickly, and it's going to happen. Because you know that TB love to play over by B. So if he's going to go into this spot and probably lay down and try and get that cross info, you can see right here. He sees the angle, so he knows when they're going to go A. And as soon as he does, he's probably going to call out to his teammate, Goat, it's time to do something. And then Goat's going to be on the move. So they've done this a couple of times now. I like the play for info. I like the rotation. And they're going to get here quicker than they can get the bomb down. Now that Stim has that info, Goat's in position. Loses the fight though.
There you go. Stim wins it. Nicely done. Now all of a sudden this is a very, very difficult round for Swerfy to win. Because they spotted him over there just before the fight between Goat and themselves broke out. So they know exactly where he is. And there's another very simple round for PureClan. 4-3 now.
Yeah, and this next round really feels like not a must-win for TV, but certainly a round that you don't want to lose, right? Up 4-1, you don't want to have the game tie up at 4-4 situation, and I think we're seeing some of these Krigs really come into action right here, and yeah, just some more interesting decisions from TB. I think once again they played a great defense the way they structured that round, but the gunfight didn't go in Goat's favor. I mean, that was the key one, right? If Goat wins that, they probably close out the round no problem, so fair play to Stim.
Yeah. 5-2 is a lot different. Yeah. 5-2 a lot different before 4-3, isn't it? Very much one of those swing rounds. Goat gonna fall very quickly again. Grenade through. Swerfy now caught in a 1 versus 2, and all of a sudden we are all tied up. It is well and truly falling apart here for the side of TB. And I don't really even know what it is. I think they're maybe not being as aggressive, not as assertive with their pushes. It's kind of like they're trying to overcomplicate it maybe a little bit, and it's not working.
Yeah, I mean, Goat was 6-1. He was 5-0, I think, at one point, and now they're not playing together, right? They've made some massive plays early on in this game, but separating to some degree. Goat's going into purple on his own. He gets caught out. Swurfy in no position to trade, and that is certainly going to come back to bite them if they do continue on in this tournament later against, what will increasingly be more difficult matches. But I do like this from Goat. Well, I thought he was going to execute a full wrap right here, but not going to happen, and that leaves Swurfy on his own, and again playing separate, and Goat is effectively doing nothing over there and relying on his teammate to get all this info. Oh, and he gets the job done spectacularly.
Oh, wow. Now, we're going to see it in the best player, but does he see him at the left-hand side of his screen here? Shots there. Oh, he doesn't either. He just snaps. Maybe expecting the push, and Pleb is dead before his teammate can even call out that he's been shot.
That was disgusting. I mean, just turn and burn. I mean, I guess he heard him, or he just predicted it. That was what you needed to see out of Swurfy, right? Because it's been Goat making the plays, it's been Goat that's been doing all the clutches, it's been Swurfy who has a tough time, and left in a situation where he has to go big on his own. He gets the job done emphatically. And now back on the offense, and here we go, right? This is where I'm interested to see how Pure Clan approach this, because TB, when they play these defenses over by B, they play very quickly for information. And Pure, they're not playing for info, but what they are playing for is a quick wrap. And again, Goat taking his time. Like, get it down, lads, and play the post plant. But giving them this time is going to actually put Pleb and Stim in a perfect situation. And they're coming up behind Swurfy right here.
He's down low. He's down low. Yeah, he's down low.
Interesting.
So he might get away with this, actually. And he would have heard that. Or did he?
If Stim hops off here, then... Oh, he knows he's up there.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
This is a tough corner to check as well. What's Goat going to do? Like, what do you do if you're Goat here?
Well, surely he's called out there's one back here. I mean, look, it's all right for us because we know where everybody is, but it is difficult. Goat is literally...
The goes down.
Yeah, he's checking every nook and cranny possible, but nonetheless, they are now on a 2v1. Do they really know where Pleb is, though? They need to get this bomb down. They've got barely any time, and they're going to have to go A. They know Pleb's there. So I guess he's just going to plant it, and Pleb can't really do too much to prevent this. And now the advantage firmly goes the way of TB. They know where Pleb is. They played these situations perfectly in the past. Shoulder peeking from hell from Goat. And I feel bad for Pleb here. Oh, he's being led on a merry dance, isn't he? Goat is like, yeah, keep chasing. Oh my god. Oh no, that's infuriating. Oh my god, I'd be so tilted. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, okay, so he wins one.
Oh my god.
But loses the second. Ultimately, though, TB will advance on through. 6-4, 2-0 in the series. Miami is indeed their palace. Well played to them. They get it done. Goat closes it out with a nice kill. Another interesting Miami is it seems to be catching people off guard in the 2v2. There's nothing plain sailing to it, really, is there? It seems difficult for teams to kind of work out exactly how to play it, doesn't it, Rob? It was a difficult one, but nonetheless, it is TB who advanced through.
Yeah, I agree. I think we saw a lot of great things from TB on the defense that game. I think some of the information plays they made, running up mid on some of the offenses as well, made for good plays, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, that round at the end I thought was pretty funny, right? Because Swurfy, after doing such great things in the previous round, is probably sitting there thinking he's got this round locked up. Almost comes down to the wire. So look, we'll just have to see how Goat and Swurfy progress in the rest of the tournament, because I think that fundamentally, like individually in terms of their ability with the weaponry, is very impressive indeed, and they hit some really crispy shots this game. But in terms of the teamwork, I'm yet to be convinced, right? And they've got 74 U's out. They're playing somewhat separated in a lot of these rounds that maybe is not going to work out as the tournament progresses.
It feels like they're relying on their gun skill, etc. Their ability to play the 1v1s. They are very much relying on that one. Look at that from Swurfy, though. Pleb gets absolutely, for better or worse, spat on, really, to be honest. And this is how it's just... I mean, what an annoying guy. He's just like, what? Shoulder. Dead. And that is the game done. Very, very nicely played by TB, who will go through for against Thanks for the COD points. We'll get to see that one shortly and see if their Thanks for the COD points are going to live up to their name. Peak Gaming beat GG2 to advance on through. They'll be going up against Bloodline or Pain in the other semi-final. We'll get to see both those games though, so we'll get a look at our 2 finalists one way or another before we do jump in to that game. What a fantastic performance there by the boys on TB. If you think you could go a step further and do that a little bit better, compete.playstation.com is the place you want to visit to get yourself signed up for one of these tournaments. If you feel like you're a 2v2 god, if you've got a mate who alongside you is going to do the job on Miami Search and Destroy in the 2v2, then get yourself signed up and you may well advance on through. You may well win it. Plenty of money and of course COD points on the line. Anyway, that's the quarterfinals now out of the way. We'll be back very, very shortly with the semi-finals though. Games 1 and 2 coming up right after this. Ladies and gents, welcome back to the Sony Open Series Finals here. My name is Tun, joined by Rab, and we've got more 2v2 Search and Destroy action coming at you live here on the Sony PlayStation, Twitch and YouTube channels. Of course, into the evening on the NA side of things, we already had the EUs covered. We've already started the NA side of things as well. The quarterfinals are pretty much done, and we are heading into the semi-finals now, Rab. We're going to get to see TB, who we just seen win their quarterfinal game, going up against Thanks for the COD Points next, but Peak Gaming getting through as well. But TB with a strange performance, but they grind their way through for a result.
Absolutely, yeah. They did a great work, honestly, on that Miami. You've got to be so well-rounded at all of these maps that we'll have a look at here in a second, because not only have they already won a Checkmate, they've won now an Express, they've now won a Miami. They're going to have to win a Moscow and a Raid to take down this entire tournament. Playing, of course, thanks for the COD point, as we'll talk about here in just a second.
Yeah, that's one of those that you look at. You really do need to be winning some of these games if that's going to be your name. But we move into the semi-finals, which means we change scope on the map side of things. We've got to move over to Moscow, and that's where things become a little bit more simple, I want to say. You know, Miami was one of those that it's a very, very big map, whereas Moscow just a little bit smaller, and it's going to be TB against Thanks for the COD Points coming up on this map. TB strategy of the 274Us may work a little better on this map, I feel, Rab.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree. Certainly, feel free to vote in the Twitch chat at the present time who's going to win this series. But yeah, most certainly right. The 74U's pretty much anywhere you go on this map, the 74U isn't going to be a bad choice of weaponry. It was a little bit questionable, but I'm looking to see these guys group up a little bit more than we saw last time. If they are playing super separate on the defense and the offense, you're probably going to have yourself a hard time. But TB coming in as favorites here, Tan, despite Thanks for the COD points, looking for that 13,000 COD point prize.
You guys in the chat are just going with who you've seen, I think, at this point. Let's see if TB can get it done here. Look, I mean, the 7-4U is an aggressive strat. Let's see, as mentioned, if it does work out on Moscow. Most of you guys at home think that will be the case. But thanks for the COD points. You know, as mentioned, they kind of need to live up to that name that they have put in. They need to make their moves. They need to go on and win it. You can't give yourself a name like that and crash out in the semi-finals, although you would have had some COD points, not quite as many as you could have possibly got a hold of, though. But looks like we're loading the Miami, and we are really on the ball with these games right now, flying into them. Fantastic work from everybody behind the scenes here this evening once again. And into Moscow. I mean, it's going to be nice to have another look at it to see if it does play out any different on the other side of things after what we've seen in Europe. But aggressive hits, once again, it's one of those that when you do have the bomb down, it's not necessarily quite as simple as what it is when it comes to Miami, of course, where you've got the angles to sit and watch it. You kind of need to stay in and around the bomb sites, the areas where things are going to break down. But thanks for the COD points. Kenzo Season and Finesse up against Sweffy and Goat of TB. Looks like TB making the B hit initially. Thanks for the COD points, going aggressive on the defense towards A.
Absolutely, yeah. And thanks for the COD points. They've already locked up some COD points here by guaranteeing themselves, at their very worst, a 4th place finish. But yeah, I mean, once again, an early rotate. We see this quite often. Teams go over towards A on the defense, then they decide, all right, let's send someone back. And Finesse is in a great spot to watch this. And Swerfy is aware of it. And wow,
timing.
Gets caught very unexpected situation for him. And once again, Goat loves to carry this bomb. Kenzo Season on the full wrap. They will. Oh my word. Gotta be kidding me. I wonder if you saw him right there. And Goat seems to know that he's in this position, but the timing, once again, the trade is there though. Oh my word. That was a round of all timing time.
Timing just off for a lot of people there. Nonetheless, Swerfy will close out the round with a kill on the Kenzo, and TB so we'll kick off where they left off by winning rounds. 2 kills for Swerfy that time around. TB get it done. Plenty more Call of Duty to be played though.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen this a couple of times now. Whoever the Twitch chat tends to predict, they win the first round. Whether they win the series, I don't know. Maybe Twitch chat's 100% on the day. They've certainly done a pretty good job, but yeah, Swerfy getting the 2 kills early on in that one. We saw it was really Goat that turned up massively on that first Miami, so we might find here in this second series that it's a different player coming to play. But the smoke goes down. That's the beat cross through. And if you're Swervy, you've got to think that something's going on here. But it's Finesse finessing his own smoke grenade. And Swervy's just running on through.
Oh, Goat just about gets the kill. Finesse now looking for the other. We'll find Swervy. Spun around immediately, looking at bedroom window. No, he hasn't been pushed from there, so where else has he got to go from now? He's played this quite well, Finesse, and is he going to expect the flank on the way back round? Not too sure, but nonetheless, that's a long route to take with only 20 seconds left on the bomb. Goat knows what he's doing. 1v1 incoming any second now. 13 seconds, can't find him. This should be a round over to, thanks for the card points. Shots in. Oh, he got it in time, my goodness. He's absolutely deleted him before he got round the corner. And with a second to go, Goat gets it done. I honestly thought he got away. I thought he got away. He's absolutely eviscerated him here.
Wow, look at that.
Oh,
I get stuck on the door frame a little bit.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, Goat played that so strangely, I thought. Like, he had an opportunity maybe to hop it initially, then the kind of weird wrap that he made, like he was almost going to peek into Finesse, and then he goes back. I thought Finesse had done enough to win that right, but just flying out there towards the bomb site in the last second gives Goat his moment to get another 2-kill round here for the side of TB, starting off very strong here, up 2-0 early on. Bounce back required.
TB. Well, it looks like it's going to be a all-out war towards A. Although they are expecting this transition over towards B from mid-map, though. Goat and Finesse about to run into each other. Finesse ready and waiting with a Craig. Oh, he goes over and he's been spotted. Now, what's the play here?
The second man. But where is the teammate? And Goat... Oh, my word. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Finesse just came out there and Goat has no idea. And now Kenzo's here for the support. Wow. What is going on right now? I see what Swervy's trying to do here in mid-map, but the problem is you haven't got the bomb down. And there's only 30 seconds to go. And Goat's still in that corner that he's been in for the last 30 seconds.
I think he's committed to this now, and he's like, I will catch somebody through hella high water. And one over towards B. Yeah, I love that. No, he wouldn't have expected Kenzo, though, to find Swervy in the middle. And that bomb's down at B. Thanks for the COD points. I'll be sending out an Inquisition after this to figure out how the hell that's happened, but Goat plays that corner the whole round and just plays for that info. He's maybe expecting a push back round from A, but eliminating all possibilities right now, and he knows that from street is where it's coming. Goat is expected by Finesse, and thanks for the COD points. We'll get their first round on the board.
That was such an interesting round. If those guys could see like where the other players were, they'd have been mind blown how that was playing out. I'm interested, like, honestly, the way Goat played it, I thought seeing Finesse there, of course, maybe a nice play, right? You don't kill him, you decide, all right, let's just get the bomb down. But if you chase Finesse, get that kill, you can pretty much guarantee the kill, I suppose, unless his teammate happens to be to the right there. Just such a strange situation, difficult to decide what to do in that spot, really, if you're those guys. And I thought we were going to see one of those plays we saw earlier today where the bomb goes down at B and the man in middle pushes the Eskies, goes for the full wrap. We saw that in the European side. It looked like Swervy and Goat were trying to set up for that play, and they probably could have executed it if they'd have been a little bit hastier. But they lose the round, not the end of the world. Still 2-1, and well, kills even across the board in spectacular fashion.
Completely. It's like we're entering the Matrix here with all the numbers the same. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm not sure where that reference came from. Thanks for the COD points.
Fall up in the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, here he goes again.
Well.
What are we seeing here, Tom? Some patience.
Slow round.
Absolutely.
Patience on both sides of things, though, usually results in the final 20 seconds being pretty crazy.
See, I always question plays like this because information is so key that you basically have none of it. Even the way Goat's playing, right? Like, he's not shoulder peeking.
Yeah.
He has no idea whether the bomb's going down, so he can't stop them planting. And he's now just waiting and hoping to get a kill. And then probably not going to check this, though.
Nope, absolutely not. No, Kenzo trying to find for the kill here, and Goat just doing what he does.
He loves it.
Yeah, playing the shoulders, being very, very annoying. Oh, and there you go. There's the second as well. How has he managed that, by the way? Sat in the same corner the whole game, but still finds 2. 3-1 TB now. Some interesting but innovative plays working out there. And I think you look at that one and you sort of say to yourself, like, when it comes down to Goat sitting in that corner, he knows for a fact that if that bomb's going to go down at A and they don't have any info of where they are, they may well push through. Like, you know, it could happen. And it's just about playing your chances. And he's played his chances fantastically there. Finds the second kill as well. 3-1 now. It's looking good. Looking real good for TB. Maybe Miami wasn't the flash in the pan that we thought it could have been.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, credit where it's due to the play from Go right there. I did question it, but it worked out incredibly well, right? Like, they did never expect him to be there. And he gets both kills in the round. And here we go. Like, what do we see again? They go A. They throw a smoke out. Gunfight's going down in mid. Swerfy gets picked by Finesse. And with 43 HP, he gets out with his life. The trade is not quick enough from Goat. And will he expect Finesse in this corner? It's kind of a Goat-looking corner, and he doesn't. Wow. Fair play to Finesse. 2 kills in the rounds. Again, the separation, we talked about it on Miami. If it happens, if it continues on Moscow, it's going to cost them some rounds. And this was one of them, I think, Tom.
Yeah, when you're playing on an island, you need to maybe be playing a little bit slower. It seems to be like they're playing separately but aggressive. I suppose you kind of just, you ride your luck in a certain way, don't you, when it comes down to that. Very, very similar KDs across the board, but it is TB with the important advantage, though, of 3-2.
Oh, and it's the same setup again here. From the offensive side, Finesse gets 1. Surely you can't get the second. Nice trades. That's what we want to see. But Swerfy might not expect... Oh, my word. Oh. Kenzo. You got to think he's got to win those, Ton.
Oh, you know he's got to win those. Doesn't see him. Oh, my God.
Like 1 HP, 5 HP.
Yep. Oh, that's a big round.
Sliver away, but that is massive. Like, that's the thing with that play from Thanks for the COD points, right? You're hoping that if Finesse does get into some gunfights, Kenzo can get there just quick enough for the trade. It could have happened. It should have happened. And Finesse enjoying himself over towards the middle here, but it's going to get caught out by Goat's stun, and Nate comes through. Kenzo's got to be there for the help, and he's getting swarmed. He's running through a smoke.
How is he still alive? What am I saying? What am I saying? Oh my God, Swerfy. And wow, okay, that's not going to work out. TB just quickly get it done. 5-2 now. I'll forgive him because of the smokes and the lack of auto aim that does help out here, but well, the AK-47 not going to do you a great deal there, is it? Yeah, it's the first night kind of non-meta. Actually, that's a lie. We did see the XM4 in Europe, I suppose. So
we saw the occasional XM4 from Clara. And now we've got an AK-47. This is interesting, right? Because the AK-47 is one of those incredibly strong weapons. Arguably the best AR in the entire game. I think you could certainly make the case, but rarely used at the moment. But it's Thanks for the COD points, maybe trying to put it out to good effect, but they're certainly going to need to do so, because TB on map point here, as they look to win their 3rd straight map since we've started covering the bracket.
Deservedly so. They've been very good here on Moscow. Both sharing the load. That is the fattest wraps I've ever seen from number 1 on your screen. Swerfy going all the way around, and you know what? He might actually catch somebody because of this. Finesse holding mid.
Expect Finesse here, though. I mean, there's 25 seconds, boys. And we're crouching.
Oh, the timing. Finesse is going to fall, and this is where things are going to have to speed up. Kenzo in a 1 versus 2. Did he see him? Yes, he did. Shot's going to go in, but they've got to go for the defuse. Why isn't... Oh, the miscommunications obviously there. Oh, no,
they didn't get it in time, I don't think. Did they get it in time? I don't think they did. Yeah. Wow. I mean, there you go, Ton. We've seen this so many times today.
Where's the comms?
Someone's got to hop in at that point. There's 11 seconds on the clock and they both fly. I mean, look at it. It's absolute chaos inside the site. Goat's trying to get on the bomb while Kenko's coming in. Swervy gets stuck. Doesn't kill Goat, but it doesn't matter because there wasn't enough time on the defuse. So, not a round you want to be losing, really, if you're TB. 5-3. I mean, we've seen a 5-2 comeback earlier today on this very map. So, I wouldn't put it past the boys on thanks for the COD points.
I wouldn't. I think in that scenario, though, you got to win it if you're TB. You've just got to be quicker. So much quicker.
I mean, look at this. Like, Goat in another one of his spots. I don't know how good it actually is, because I feel like if someone runs in, they might just see you. But maybe not. Oh, and some information gathered. Finesse has seen Swerfy. Shots exchanged, but that may give Goat the opportunity to push up onto A here, but doesn't seem like things for the COD points want to let it happen, but all the forces are coalescing here on the A side.
Uh-oh. Oh, Finesse is going to challenge it. Oh. No way, does Goat get away with this? I don't mind the challenge if Kenzo follows, but he didn't. He walks down the Eskies, and TB get the first map 6-3. Very well played.
I mean, Finesse, he just really fancied that kill.
If you double chal, I'm all right with that because the immediate trade will come through. But 6-3 is the eventual scoreline here on Miami, and TB will take the lead once again. A strange one. It's sometimes very, very difficult to kind of figure out in your head who's outside of the score, who's winning it, because it doesn't feel like anyone has any momentum. It just comes down to those 1v1 gunfights or who's going to make the mistake. It's a very, very strange one when it does come down to how things are working here. So nonetheless, TB get it done. A couple of clutch moments once again, but still, playstyle has been a little bit strange, but it's worked out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it really comes down to who makes the most mistakes at this point, right? I mean, that one from Finesse there wasn't ideal. We see a couple of rounds that, the one that TB threw away where they decided not to get on the bomb. And then that final round, right, where Finesse gets caught off going for the challenge. His teammate isn't there for the trade quick enough. And that lets Swerfy pick up the round. I mean, this one really was the special one where Swerfy's here. I mean, yes, he does have full health, but, after those first few shots connect from Kenzo, you've got to try and close those one out. Doesn't happen on this occasion. Probably the highlight of the map right here, Tom. Oof.
Very nice from Swerfy. The smallest amount of health ever left there. But this is a round they should have closed this out a lot sooner, really. It should have been 6-2. They really did gift this one over to Thanks for the COD points, who, well, I mean, that challenge from Finesse, I think it kind of evens things out, doesn't it? I think if Kenzo follows and they both shout, then yeah, they're in a good spot for that one. But nonetheless, they will walk away as winners there, TB. In map number 1, we'll go back over to Moscow once again for map number 2, which will be coming up very, very shortly to figure out who's going to get into the grand finals out of these two teams. And then we'll jump over towards the other side of the bracket to watch the other semi-final to see who else is going to be meeting them there. It's looking more and more like TB are going to be the ones to make it over. I'm curious though. I am curious because there was a couple of rounds here and there that we did question some of the players from TB. Ultimately though, Rab, they do get it done, and they've kind of just been like this all the way through that we've watched them, haven't they? We've questioned what they're doing, but it ended up working.
Absolutely. There's been plenty of moments now where they're maybe not playing fundamentally the best, but they just have some really impressive individual talents, right? And we've seen a couple of now 2 pieces from Swerfy that have taken over games. I think Goat really brings out some innovative spots we haven't seen too many people play. And the interesting thing is, right, you go into a grand finals if they do win this, and you're playing an entirely different series, or entirely different map, to what you've played before. So none of these spots you're putting out really matter so much because the teams that could be facing you aren't watching these VODs and preparing for what you're doing. You can bring a completely different play style, a completely different set of spots to the table in the grand finals if they do make it all the way there, Ton. But yeah, I mean, I just want to see if they can manage to adapt, that being thanks for the COD COD points to what the guys on TB were bringing to play, right? Because there was a few interesting ideas that they had. A lot of the time it came down to gunfights, right? And if you are, thanks for the COD points, I think if you're trying to take advantage of what TB are doing, you probably just want to group up and hit something, right? Because a lot of the time they're playing relatively separate, the guys on TB, and yes, they might win one of those gunfights, but it probably gives you the best chance of coming back here and taking this all the way to a game 3.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, if they do start playing together, they may well just trade things out, and at least you've got a 1v1 potential to try and do something. But yeah, we should be loading in the game very, very shortly. But as mentioned throughout the broadcast, you can get involved in these tournaments if you want to win some COD points. It's one of the best places to try it. Compete.playstation.com is where you want to go. Plenty of other games, though, if you do have any other interests, of course, in terms of competitive gaming. And the schedule we'll have up for you at the end of the show as well to let you know what else is coming throughout the next few weeks here from the PlayStation Open Finals. It has been a very interesting day so far with the 2v2. As I said, Rab, for me and you know, obviously, our bread is buttered on the 4v4 side of things. Obviously, both of us involved very heavily on the competitive side of things in terms of franchises, etc. This has been very, very different to what we see there, isn't it? But it's been a nice little change, of pace, if you like.
Absolutely. I mean, 2 versus 2 is so fundamental to Call of Duty for so many years. I think a lot of us who have got into the game, playing game battles and such back in the day, started out playing 2v2s or something along those lines. And they've always been the most fun things, right? You remember some YouTube videos that used to be made way back in the day of like nade spots and stuff like this, specifically for game modes like 2v2. And there's just so much history of Call of Duty in maps and mode combinations just like this. So this is where the teams have a perfect opportunity to prove that they can do it on this stage, try and take things up to another gear as well, but also just have some fun with your friends as we load in now to this game number 2, TB with a 1-0 advantage, looking to close out this series and book their spot in the grand final. Ton.
Yep, they want to get it done here in 2, I would imagine, and all players are now in the lobby. Let's see, can TB get this done in 2, or do we need to see a map number 3 between these two on Moscow? Plenty of rounds of search to play through. And immediately, look at Swifty just turning around and going all the way to police. Goat, once again, playing all alone.
Ooh, that's a nice angle. All the information. And he's definitely got some of it. He's fired some shots, not connected. Oh, wow. Oh my.
It's traded, and well, the bomb's going to go down. I like that from. Thanks for the COD points, to be honest with you. Get in, get the bomb down, defend it. Go it from behind though. Oh, they're not going to see that happening, are they? Oh my god, Finesse gets the worst timing ever. Did he see the shadow of the player who jumped up? Oh, I don't think Goat's seen him. What's going on? Is he blended into the copy? How has that happened? Swifty will find the kill. Oh, and he will find the round. What? I'm so confused.
I'm interested by Kenzo's play right there, right? Because your teammate just tops out the window and dies to Goat. You know the Goat's absolute, like, he's one bullet away from death because we've seen the call out comes from the teammate, right? You think, right, we hop out the window there, we get the trade. I guess his thought process is, all right, let me just lay down here and they're not going to expect me to be here because I probably, maybe should have got that trade and therefore they might not expect my positioning. But Goat gets him weak enough that Swifty gets the trade. And again, TB straight back in the driver's seat.
It's 1-0. We're going to continue off where they left the last game, and they know that Kenzo's on his own. They may well just hunt for him here instead of getting the bomb down. 2v1, beneficial situation. Smoke out, maybe trying to bait it, but he would have seen where the smoke came from. How's your nerve here, Kenzo? You going to hold it?
Oh, and the flank is coming in quick from Finesse, and they've got them trapped. 1 kill may decide this round. Goat spotted. And now Kenzo's going to spring into action, but he doesn't expect the corner. You've got to think there's going to be 2 players there if you're Kenzo, right? And now it's just perfect, right? And as I say, 1 kill in these situations where teams are trapped often decides the round. And Goat's going to head over towards B and get this down. I like this play from Swervy, right? Look at this. Sitting in the corner, waiting for the rotation, holding the entirety of this push, and there's no way in hell Finesse checks his left corner right here.
Nope.
And that seals the deal.
Easily done. So if he just covers it, here's him coming through and Finesse. It would take some amount of finesse to get yourself out of that situation, in fairness, wouldn't it? Not going to happen there. 2-0 TB really walking away with this one now, looking for that grand final spot. There's one hand on it, to be honest with you. It feels like.
Absolutely. And Kenzo right here, who, well, I mean, he did have the Krig out with the very nice chevron reticle I keep talking about whenever I see it, but puts it away. And they're trying to do a similar thing here, right? Get the bomb down at A. But this is the quick flank. This is what I love to see from TB, not wasting any time.
No way they expect
Does
it.
Finesse expect this?
Maybe they haven't got there in the second time of asking, though. You need to make that push maybe a little bit quicker after that. Goat is going to find the kill onto Finesse, though. They know where Kenzo is. Surely they just double child this. They don't need to, and my word, TB are just absolutely flying through thanks for the cut points right now. Flying through them.
Very impressive stuff indeed.
Yeah, very, very impressive.
We saw this a very similar fashion actually on the Miami, right, where the first game was relatively close, and then game 2 at times it felt like they're running away with things. And it's happening here again. And you go down 3-0. It's been done before, but it's not out of the question, right? Oh, is that an AK-47 we see? Oh, maybe it was for a second, or I'm tripping or something. But regardless, we see some normal weapons come into play, and TB are just moving deep into their playbook, right? They're going to go for this interesting B split, trying to catch Finesse off guard here over by the courtyard. But slowing things down for once here, TB.
Yeah, a bit of a different approach. I'm not sure what Swervy's really covering. I mean, it's a very small flank that could come through. But thanks for the cut points. I'm not going to budge yet. And ultimately, it's going to result in TB kind of just wasting a bit of time here.
Yeah, I think if I was Goat, I'd consider just strafing slightly to the left, so at least I get some info if someone's pushed up Eskies or if someone's running across, and maybe that helps you find a kill in the back. I like the idea from Swervy to watch the full flank here, but just as he looked like he was coming up behind, Finesse decides to take a different tack, and over they go to A, up the Eskies. If you're Goat, you've got to just give it 1 second to your teammates there for the trade, but doesn't need it anyway. And Kenzo goes down, and that's a dagger.
The time, and he peeks it just as they're coming around, and it does not work out in their favor whatsoever. Finesse now is going to find his first kill of the game, as well as another one at that as well. He ain't going to find a goddamn thing. 4-0 down to TB. I mean, they are sailing through to the grand finals at this point.
Yeah, it seems like not necessarily like they've given up over the side of thanks for the COD points, but it does not seem particularly hopeful, not playing things together, getting executed one by one, and just look at the slang. There's 1 kill in 4 rounds for thanks for the COD points. That comes at the side of Kenzo, and on the other side, Goat's 4-1 on a 3 spree, Swervy's 4-0 on a 4 spree. I mean, that's not what you want to see, but for the TB side, it's definitely what you want to see. Building so much confidence here on their road to probably the grand finals at this point.
TB.
Oh, the slide. He just hears it. Oh my god.
It's an easy pick. It's an easy pick. TB.
Yeah.
They look like a very, very advanced S&D machine right now, don't they?
Absolutely.
They
This seems to be even better than they were in Miami.
Finesse now really not in the best of spots whatsoever.
He's somehow snuck in here though, and they don't have any idea. But the problem is if he crosses mid to go to A, he might get spotted. Depends what Swervy does here exactly. On Goat might get timing, not quite though. Okay, so Finesse gets towards A, but they know. And they might even catch him before he can get away from this one. It's looking increasingly likely. Wow.
That's 5. That's 5. It's just so easy for them. So easy. What on earth do you do if you thanks for God points here? Apart from just roll over and die at this point, this is very, very strong from the side of
they're
TB.
really showing a higher level here, and this is what we saw today in the European region, exactly what you want to see out of the best teams. They're getting a first blood, they're grouping up, they're not letting a trade come through at all, they're not letting a two-piece to come through from the man left last alive, and they're not even letting a kill come through right now, because Goat's still the only man to die on a combined 9 spree RTB, as you say, sailing through to the grand finals.
1 kill on the side of thanks for the COD points. Well, they are going to get COD points, but, well, not a great deal, unfortunately. There was 13,000 on the line. Maybe not as quite as much as they envisaged if they finish, obviously, top 3, top 4. Here comes the push, though. Can they find a kill? Yes, they can. Goat falls. Surely they trade this out now. Surely Swerfy dies. Surely Swerfy dies. Oh, my goodness me. How on earth can that happen? That's 6-0. And here we go.
Oh, he was weak as well.
Oh, he was weak. Oh, my. Oh, the challenge. Oh.
Wow. I can't believe he's played it like that.
Yep.
Incredible scenes, Todd. I mean, the fact that Swerfy's even able to clutch that 1v2, it should never happen.
Unbelievable.
The kill on Finesse, I mean, he was absolute. And then, I mean, honestly, a very boisterous play, right? Like, he just hops up on the bricks and tries to make it work. He hits the hip fire. He's playing on a high sense. He doesn't miss bullets. And that's going to get the job done. Emphatic fashion in our first semi-final here, Tan. TB moving on, and I'm sure the Twitch chat, when we talk about grand finals polls, are going to give them the probably the edge in this one.
Fantastic performance in game number 2 from 2. Yeah, I know, it was so strange. It was so strange. A very weird couple of rounds, but nonetheless, there you go. A fantastic performance out of TB again. They look scary on Moscow. How scary are they going to look on Raid? Goat he's cracking, man. He's so good. They both are. They really both are looking so strong. It's going to be hard to beat them. Honestly, I know we haven't seen much from the other side of the competition, but it does look like it is going to be increasingly difficult to see a way that TB are going to lose here this evening. 2v2 Search and Destroy very much seems like it is their wheelhouse.
Oh my word.
A great performance capped off with a great 1v2 from Swerfy. This has been their route. We are going to see Peak Gaming taking on Bloodline just after this break, which will be coming up in just a second, but TB are going to be the ones there waiting, and they are a scary prospect for whoever does make it through here, Rab.
Absolutely, Dev. Well, at least on present knowledge that we have, they should be favourites going into those grand finals. We saw some phenomenal performances there in the first couple of series that they have played. They've now won a series, of course, on Checkmate Express and Miami and Moscow to make it all the way to the grand finals. Can they complete the sweep? That is a question that does remain to be seen. But our second semi-final coming up very soon, Tom.
Yeah, well, if you think you could beat a team like TB, then get yourself signed up at compete.playstation.com. You can enter next month's tournament right now. 2v2 S&D is where it's at for a lot of these players. But if you think you could do better with your mate, with your duo, then get yourself signed up. We are going to go for a very short break, though. But semi-final number 2 will be coming up just after this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sony Open Series Finals. My name is Chris Dunn, joined by Tactical Rab, and we are in and well and truly into the 2v2 Search and Destroy on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Rab, it has been an entertaining affair so far. We have one grand finalist. We're going to find our second in just a moment's time. But what an interesting time of things we've had on Moscow so far.
Absolutely. I mean, that last game was a complete blowout. TB did a phenomenal job, especially in that second map there. And they're going to be up against the winner of Peak Gaming versus Bloodline. We will see the second semi-final coming up here in just a second to determine who is going to fight it out for those $200, 13,000 COD points on the line for the victor of this one.
Yeah, plenty on the line, of course, when we do get into those grand finals. But still, there's plenty if you do finish top four, which these teams have now guaranteed. And as mentioned, we are heading into Moscow once again. Very fast play for the most part that we've seen. A couple of slow rounds here and there, but it's much more of a fast-paced match than Miami was, of course, in the very first game that we've seen on broadcast today, which, of course, is a little bit slower with how big it is. But Peak Gaming and Bloodline are going to be going into Moscow here now, and hopefully some similar performances to what we've just seen from TB there. Fantastic from them on this map specifically. They're going to head into the finals. The winner of this will face them. Who do you think is going to take this one away? Peak Gaming or Bloodline? Please do vote in the Twitch chat right now. Make sure you get your vote in and let us know who you think is going to take this one. Rab, what's the keys to victory for teams on Moscow here then? Because honestly, for TB, they kind of did it in a multitude of different ways, but clutching up, playing your lives together, trading it out, they did every single part of that very, very well. Is it going to work out in that same scenario here, or do you want to see something maybe a little bit different for one of these two teams? In Peak Gaming winning the vote by quite a large number there, around 70%.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, honestly, if Peak Gaming or any of these teams take some lessons, Bloodline, of course, from what TB just did, I think they will be on the right tracks because they did it all, as you said, Tom. Not only did we have Goat sitting in these strange corners, making things work and getting two pieces, but when they needed to, they would group up, they'd execute together, and they'd get the job done in pretty emphatic fashion as well. So a lot of the time, especially on Miami, I think on the defense and on the offense, you generally want to be pretty aggressive. You can, of course, adapt as things go on, but getting information is so important, and once you get one kill, grouping up, trading those things out, because sometimes you can play for some weird flanks, you can play in some weird spots, try and catch someone off guard. That can work very well, but once you get one kill, tagging team up as a team is definitely the way to go, and will help one of these teams progress to the grand finals.
Yeah, and there is that other spot in the grand finals ready and available for one of these teams, as mentioned, on Moscow. And that's their route through. And let's see, we've seen different strategies across the board, but we always feel as if the sticking the two together and then going for the challenges on that side of things, trading out and hopefully going to your direction, that's kind of where you want to be going. But if you do want to get involved, of course, in these tournaments, in the Open Series Finals every single month, please do go to compete.playstation.com. I'm going to be saying that in my sleep tonight by the end of the show. But it's just a really good competition for you guys to enter. Anybody can jump in and play online, and especially when it comes down to Call of Duty, you can get your time in. You got a duo who you feel as if can compete with you alongside in these 2v2 tournaments. Get yourself involved. There's plenty on the line. Hopefully we'll be loading into this game pretty shortly to figure out who's going to be coming up as the next finalist, because we're ticking on down quite late in the evening here now, Rab. We're getting over towards midnight. Everybody on the West Coast having a nice little afternoon, watching some Call of Duty. We're grinding away into the night, us too, though. It is time zones are a funny old thing, and it's not unusual for us in the remote world, of course, to be up very, very late, in fairness, but excited to continue the rest of my night with some 2v2 Call of Duty.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a lovely day here in England. Got to enjoy the sun for the majority of it. So
it's a bit warm. Yeah, it's a bit warm now, to be honest.
If anything, it's the perfect day. You enjoy the sun until about 4 p.m. You hop onto cast some Call of Duty for the next 10 hours. It doesn't get any better than that. So yeah, we're going to be hopping into this very shortly indeed. We'll have a winner on Moscow, and then we get to see Raid Ton. Of course, very excited for that. Earlier today in the European finals, Raid was the only time we got to see a map go to the distance, or a series go the distance, all three maps played. So I wonder if we'll get that here on Moscow. Of course, we've seen it played plenty today in all the semi-finals, but I mean, every single time the team that's won the game one whether do you think it's a matter of they have the momentum going into the game too? Do you think it's a factor of they've just they are just the better team and therefore they close it out? Because sometimes you see some regains in situations like this, but hasn't really happened so far today.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen that too much, and it has been a case of, I suppose, we lent in that direction. We talked about at the beginning of the broadcast in Europe, but we feel as if a team, if they go on to win the first map, you're likely to see them go on to win the second, with it being, the same map. Some teams will just understand it a little bit more, will play it very, very well. And I suppose, is it enough rounds, a potential of 22 rounds to figure out what the other team are doing very well? It's not a lot of time to change things up. And, we should be loading into the game very, very shortly to figure out who is going to be coming in with the best strats towards Moscow. And again, look, we've seen both bomb sites being used by both these two teams in the previous semi-final quite often. There was no particular favourite, if you like. So it'll be interesting to see if we do still go in that route. As said, with 2v2, it doesn't really come down to what's the better bomb site. You kind of just sit and flow through the player and see how it does sort of turn out, because there's so many different scenarios in 2v2. I think in 4v4 it's easier to have a setup broadly across the map, and you usually have a good idea as to where people are going to sit in their teams, whereas when it does come to the 2v2, you only have as limited resources, obviously, as yourself and one other guy. So it does make things in terms of setups a little bit more unpredictable and difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. In 4v4, you'll quite often have, a couple of defaults you might want to run and things that you do every single time. But in 2v2, you can basically do anything and make it work. And here we go, loading into Moscow. We'll have to see what the teams bring to the table, because there's so many different ways to play it. So you can group up, you can hit A, you can group up and hit mid, group up, hit B, separate, decide to go for long wraps, sit in a corner, holding angles. There's so much good stuff that we might see these teams pull out here. And here we go. The Krieg is out for Good Skies.
Yes, Krieg's that. Diamatti for the peak side of things. Are we going to call him GCH? No, it's going to be a Krieg. Because it's peak gaming, so GCH we'll go with.
The peak spelled different, so...
Yes, it is spelled different. Podsy pushed forward here, though. Everyone are now watching the stairs is going to say GCH as well, and we'll back him down. Bit of a stack over towards A from both teams here.
Yeah, and we've got Skies and Winter on the other side of things. Both, I think... Maybe not. I'm not sure what weapon Skies has as of yet, but JCH is out. Podsy's taken down. And there he is, into that corner. But he does hop into the room. I do like this play from JCH, sorry, but it's not going to work out for him. Bloodline here, early on Tan. Two Kriegs come into play, and they don't lose a single man.
Yep, they hold it down. Nicely played. Everyone are not really that close to dying that. 1-0 though. I'll play it by those two. Just hold that one off. Yep. Nicely done. Let's see if the defensive side of things goes the same way this time.
I wonder if we'll see more 74Us come into play, because whichever one of these teams wins, you know very well that the guys on TB are probably using a lot of the 74Us. They're probably going to use two, because that's what they've done on every single map they've played so far. And Raid is probably going to be no exception, so you've got to be preparing to adapt for that kind of aggression. And maybe they will do whichever one of these teams makes it. But once again, a relatively slow offensive round here. This time it's Skies holding the side, but JCH in position to get some information at the very least. Winter gave him an opportunity. And he's going to back down. And Podsy not making a rush to get over and help his teammate on this side.
Oh, we might need
JCH,
to soon.
You can't be getting picked there.
Yeah, JCH is in a bit of a difficult spot now. His teammate comes over to help, but everyone needs to think about getting this bomb down.
Wow, it goes in.
Oh my god, as if he's challenged that with the bomb as well. It goes to the second as well. He's feeling it. 2-0 now.
That's some of the strangest play I've ever seen, and it's worked out. Like, every Winter, why not plant the bomb? But, we don't need to plant the bomb. We just go for the chal, we take the first kill, we get tagged up, we go for the second chal anyway, we win it. I mean, fair play, like, it's not orthodox Call of Duty, but if it works, it works, Tom.
And it did indeed work. Peak Gaming yet to get a kill on the board here. Bloodline looking good. I mean, when every Winter has got that kind of confidence, it's just go forward and challenge with the bomber, kind of. Well, works out in the end, doesn't it? Very, very strange.
Yeah, it was a really interesting way to play it. But again, slow offensive play, and I think this is a nice adaptation really from the guys at Bloodline. They're like, look, we're not going to do anything aggressive. We're just going to sit back and relax. The offense has to come and plant the bomb, and Winter has great eyes on everything. Like, this is one of the perfect spots to be in this map. I'm not 100% sure why he's going back and forth, but he's going to stack up with his teammate now. Skies, I guess, called for some help over here. And maybe they have some spidey sense, because, well, it looked like the bomb was going to arrive in that direction, but now they've changed tack entirely. Podsy and JCH heading over towards B. But Winter once again ahead of the game here with the rotation back. So once again, a lot of time off this clock. Do they even have time to get it down and play a close part right here? Lots of P's in that one.
Oh, no, Pete gets through. The potential here, but every winner knows he's there. You don't need to see the mantle come through, and then the bombs are going to go down. Good Skies down. 1v2. You can probably wait a little bit of time, see if anyone's going to misstep. And then we'll have to see him make a move here, Rab. What's the play? Especially with, well, Podsy just sitting inside the site. JCH on the outside. It's a difficult call, isn't it? He's going to go along the street if he can win the first again. Gunfight. 20 seconds to play with here. He's going to make a move shortly. Oh, Podsy's going to give away a position, but the shots are in. As Podsy staying in the same spot. Oh, he can't quite get the auto aim through the rail. And this round is going to go over towards Peak Gaming, whatever way this gunfight goes. Climbs up.
Oh my God.
No. I mean, somebody shut his windows. This is the worst gunfight I've seen in many, many years. My goodness. Oh.
He didn't even get the kill. Oh,
don't put that on the highlights package production team. No
Oh, that was beautiful. I don't know what you mean. And this is the kill, right? This is the kill that wins the rounds. JCH on no health at all. The hip fire from every Winter just can't quite connect. And I don't blame Winter making that play right in a way, because there's no way you're thinking JCH is going to challenge that fight with no health. And no hipfire bullet connects. A single hipfire bullet connects there, and that round is basically done. But despite a bit of a shambolic fight we had over towards that truck to finish out the round, Big Gaming put one on the board. They get a kill as well. Only one kill so far, but one kill, one round. So can't really complain. It's a 360 turn out from Skies. Certainly still feeling himself here.
You can do it too. Pushes forward over towards A.
And this is where I think that whichever one of these teams makes the finals, TB should be favourites. Because look at these players separating, for some reason taking Kriegs into the buildings. And once again, like, why plant the bomb when we can just shell the gunfights?
Oh, everyone just spawned him.
JCH didn't see him.
No, he didn't. Winter
knows he has a kill on his platter. Maybe 2 kills.
Possibly. Are they going to check that back corner? No, they are not. Every Winter finds one. Recalculates the angle. Podsy put some good shots in, but the problem is here is now he has to find 2 of them. Challenges the angle, and not going to happen. Bloodline with another round, 3-1 now. Definitely looking the better team here, it has to be said. They seem to be dictating it a little better, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to see one of these teams, I mean, probably the team that's falling behind in Peak Gaming, switch something up, right? Instead of using all these Kriegs, because it seems like the Krieg gunfights are just going to go the way of Bloodline, right? And that's not what you're looking for. Okay, here it is. Podsy's pulling out a 74U. I think it's time to get a little bit more aggressive. If they just absolutely steamroll into the A bomb site, get the bomb down, you're going to put the Bloodline guys in such a tough spot if they find themselves inside that room there with a Krieg. The 74U is going to dominate them every single time. And this is a perfect spot for them to do it. If they just rush the site, pick off Skies, it's a winnable round. But still, one Krieg still in hand. They're going to get this down immediately. And every Winter maybe has a chance to make a flank here. JCH spotted him. And here comes the pinch. Wow. Skies is in no man's land. Gets caught out.
Yeah. He shouldn't be able to even get that far, but the fact that he did kind of caught him off guard a little bit. Now every Winter needs the 1v2. And not really from a favourable spot, is it? This is so difficult to do. Could just stick it. I mean, yeah, he should be dead, really, shouldn't he? Yeah, there you go. Peak Gaming take a round back. And that's something I honestly have not seen enough. Is people just jumping it. Sometimes it's a case of, well, we got the map covered, let's not check the bomb. You might get nice timing, catch people off guard sometimes. Especially it's a 1v2, something like that. Sometimes worth it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of the times you see in these 1 versus 1s where there's quite a lot of time on the clock, like 20-25 seconds. It's pretty tempting for some of the defending players that are trying to hold on to that planted bomb to make some sort of full wrap or to take their time, and just getting on it can be a really good play. And if it works one time, you know that they're going to check it every single time from then on out, which gives you an advantage in how you play future rounds.
Yep.
Good Skies almost gets picked once again, and yeah, all the players are here, all the Krigs are out and about. You know the drill at this point.
It is Cold War, everybody. Everyone and now waiting for the pick once again from Podsy. Ooh, not quite quick enough to react. Stun will be out though, and that might give them a little bit of real estate here. Look at this angle from Peak GCH though on JCH. Oh, we can't find the second, but Podsy cleans it up. 3-3 now. It's all of a sudden very much back on the cards for the comeback, yeah?
Absolutely, we have a tie game on our hands in this first map. And I mean, yeah, JCH, phenomenal work there. Getting 1 kill, staying alive, Podsy in position for the trade, and that's where you got to think. Bloodline seem to be committed to this 2 Krig play, whatever the situation, right? But I would think that on some of these offenses, you've got to consider, all right, let's switch things up, right? Let's, instead of just running into gunfights with the Krig, because the Krig as an offensive weapon is not ideal, right? It's positioned well to sit back and pick someone off with the little to no recoil it has. Whereas the 74U is the perfect weapon to fly in first and get some kills. And that's why I think we see Podsy switching back and forth between a Krig and a 74U depending on offense versus defense. And they could get another plant down here. So early game, Bloodline seem to be the better team. But from 3-1, they're now giving up another plant, and driving seat, well, sitting in the driving seat is Peak Gaming.
Bomb down. Bloodline seem to have, well, started hemorrhaging rounds here a little bit. Yeah. I hear you laughing.
It's too good.
2v2 still. Yeah. Oh, everyone is going to take some shots though. They know where JCH though is now. Oh, can they find the kill on? Oh, Good Skies has put shots in, and there you go. Oh, are they going to get the timing here as well? Yes, they are.
Wow, Podsy. Poor man.
I know. Very, very good timing. Nicely done.
And this is the thing, right? Like with the Krigs, it's also not easy to retake a bomb site, right? Like you want someone to be able to go in first, and thankfully the way the gunfights line up here makes it perfect for the Krig, as every winter just shoots Podsy in the back. But in another situation, the 74 used the play. See Winter picking it up right there. I wonder if he's thinking, maybe I should consider this one. But I mean, you know, it's working. They're up 4-3. We've seen a few times really today, Ton, that games will be close early on and then a team runs away with it. But you see the slaying differential. Like Bloodline are +3, +5 kills, and they're only up 1 round for it. So Peak Gaming got to be pretty confident. They look at the scoreboard and they're thinking, well, we're getting destroyed, and then the score isn't so bad at all.
It really isn't. It really isn't. It's definitely felt like Bloodline are being in control for the majority, but Peak Gaming have very much clawed their way back into this.
And here we go. Podsy on the back alley. Oh, he's going to get challenged and takes down Good Skies again. Where's the trade? Is it going to arrive now? It does. 1v1. Winter, JCH. And JCH knows what is going on. He's here towards the A-bomb site, but Winter is not playing this one overly aggressively and takes the fight. Tana wins it. 5-3. I mean, another round where the trades are just not existent for these teams, to be honest, Tan. This first kill from Skies, you can't really be getting picked like that, but
no,
you know, he was there in time.
It's a strange one, isn't it, in the sense of that, why is that challenge like that? You got to shoulder it at least. It's like Good Skies just walked out the slowest way possible, and he's dead. Like, it's just, yeah, maybe not the best of plays, but they get away with it because every Winter finds every kill in the round. 2-0 for him in that round, specifically 5-3 now
Yeah, he is in full effect right now.
Yeah, he really is.
And some aggression.
Oh
my word. Lining them up and shutting them down.
And that's how you end it. Goes for the challenge straight away, and I mean, that sort of sums it up a little bit. That very, very well played in the end. Every winner, really. I don't want to say you got the backpack out, but a couple of big moments from him here and there, and it kind of makes the difference, doesn't it, Rab? A really, really big round out of him there to close things out, 6-3. And then 1-0 in the series for his team. And looking pretty good, it has to be said, on Moscow. You know, those trades come through. The Krigs working effectively, to be fair. It has to be said, they're going to be difficult to beat in this second one, aren't they? It seems as if they win control the majority of the time there, Bloodline. Peak Gaming, well, need to find something a little bit more in this one. And again, it's just every winter, once again, picking up kills left, right, and centre. He's having a good time with the Krig.
Yeah, 10 kills in a 2v2 is not something to scoff at by any means. He had a few great rounds here, especially that early one and the final round as well. I mean, we'll see it in the highlights here in just a couple of seconds, but the fact that Winter can get those 2 kills, lining the Peak Gaming guys up in the side, is not really what you want to be seeing. And despite some 74 U's coming into play, I'd just like to see some, honestly, playing for some more site retakes, right? Like we saw one of the times that it worked was when Peak Gaming just got the bomb down and they were able to close out the round over towards A. Couple of rounds went in their favor, but you see, when they're trying to play these kind of slow rounds and play into Bloodline style, it just seems like the superior gun skill, from my perspective at least, on the side of Bloodline is causing these rounds to go their way. I mean, this especially, like, they're both looking at the stairs.
Yeah.
That's not going to work out too well for you, right? So if I'm, if I'm Peak Gaming right now, I'm thinking, all right, let me just bring out some 74 U's, get these bombs down very quickly indeed, make it super difficult for Bloodline to retake with their Krigs. Not the best weapon for that exact situation, and maybe they can find some more success here going into game 2.
Maybe they can. It's been interesting though, hasn't it, just to see how Moscow's been breaking down between different teams, different regions, time and time again. We're now going to head into map number 2 of the Moscow side of things on the semi-finals, of course, to see who's going to come out on top and get into that grand final. Just changing the lobbies round, and then we will be getting into the game. I'd be surprised if Bloodline don't get through. Yeah, if I'm honest, it kind of just looked, as said, as they seem the superior players, to be fair. And sometimes in 2v2 that kind of works out. You know, we sort of, how often we talk about, you know, kills aren't that important in 4v4. It's about how good of a teammate you are, about your game smarts, etc. 2v2 is about that, but I feel as if the gun skill side of things really does come into it a little bit more. You know, I'm sure some of these 4v4 teams, that they split off into 2v2 players, you know, in S&D, they'd be fantastic as well. But it's just a case of, you know, it comes down to these very, very important gunfights, because every single one is massively important. Yes, okay, making it a 4v3 in favor of your teammates is solid in normal 4v4 competitive play, but 2v1 is so much harder to complete if you're in that solo position than it is to, you know, just be down a number in a 4v4. So every gunfight is important. The team with the better shooters often does win, and that was the case there for Bloodline. They take that one pretty handily. Heading into map number 2 though, Rab, anything different on the other side of things? Do Peak Gaming need to do what do they need to do differently? Essentially, is what we need to know, and it's what they need to know.
Yeah, a fair bit, all things considered. I mean, Bloodline, they're probably going to keep doing what they're doing, right? They're going to put out the Krigs on offense and the defense. They're going to get the job done if Peak Gaming played the same way they just did. But, like, if I'm Peak Gaming, I'm thinking, all right, I've really got to learn from and adapt. You've got a couple of minutes here. You're going to be changing the host around on the servers. You're going to be talking with your teammate and figuring out, okay, what did they do that really worked that game? They were getting 2 PCs we shouldn't have been gifting them, trading out too many kills, not trading out enough kills, let's just say that, for free. And at the same time, the aggression just not quite there. We saw a lot of these rounds, both teams playing it pretty passively, waiting in the spawn to try and make a play here on this Moscow Surge. And that's probably not going to work out in the long run when you've got players with probably superior gun skill on the Bloodline side. So it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, once again, we're seeing these interesting reticles, or at least the red dot sights out of the side of the Bloodline guys. We've got every win to use in their mill stop, and then we've got the microflex on the other side. All personal preference at the end of the day, but I always like to see what exactly these players are using.
Yeah, changing it up, it has to be said. And different things. It's what we expected when we did come over towards this side of things, although they've been different to only a certain degree, I find. I was actually expecting maybe a couple more AKs, maybe a couple of snipers actually as well, to potentially throw something in there, but nonetheless, we only have the Krig and the 7.4U for the most part. We have seen maybe just a slight sight of the AK-47, and we obviously did see the XM4 previously as well, but are we going to see anything different here for either one of these two teams? I'm not too sure. I think we see the same result, if I'm honest with you here, Rab. I think we see Bloodline taking this one pretty handily and getting themselves a grand finals date up against TB, but let's find out. Enough of the waffling on our side of things. We'll be jumping into things now. Bloodline on the blue side, Peak Gaming on the red side.
Beautiful stuff, and here we go again. So that's the thing. If I'm Peak Gaming, I would not be opposed to just whipping out some sort of, I don't know, the XM4, some sort of FFAR, the AK-47 indeed. That might be what you need to get over the line. But swapping the colours this time around, Bloodline in blue, which is somewhat strange to see. Of course, tan like blood and red kind of go well together. And maybe that will cost them here in this game too.
Bit of a slow one to kick things off. Every Winter and Good Skies getting themselves in position to plant this bomb a day. Peak Gaming choosing not to really cover it. Stun out for info. Not a great deal.
Every Winter does this every time.
Yeah. So he just pushes forward. He's like, "What? Who cares if I lose the bomb?"
And now he gets the bomb down, but he... Ooh,
nobody watching Eskies.
Suspect.
Oh! JCH, you got to clean it up.
Oh, just about.
Yeah. Good Skies does get the trade in the 1v1. Yeah. Podsy towards the bike. Does he know where Good Skies is? Is he going to get the timing on him? No, he is not. Wow. He did, to be fair, but the gunfight just goes the other way. And everything just seems to be going Bloodline's way here. Challenges it. He's just accurate enough to get those bullets in, and there you go. 1-0 now to Bloodline. Continuing where they left off.
And this is what we were discussing, right? The fact that Peak Gaming might consider whipping out some sort of other weaponry, right? Like, think about some 74Us, think about trying to bring some more aggression, but it seems to me they're just playing exactly the same game that they just did. And if they play Bloodline at their own game again, they're going to get gunned down exactly the same way. And this is what both teams like to do. Head towards A, don't do too much for about 45 seconds, and then head towards a bomb site. But Podsy considering a wrap back. Okay, every Winter gets picked off. Nice spot from JCH. Another clutch situation here for Good Skies. But I mean, here we go. 2-0 so far on a 2 spree. If there's anyone that there's a man for the job right now, it's probably Good Skies.
Oh, that's not ideal.
That is not ideal at all.
We'll have to come back to that one and figure out what's going on there. I don't know if one of our ops guys maybe just disconnected or the game disconnected. We'll find out as soon as possible. Not a lot to really break down of what's happened there, though, Rab, in fairness. Not too much to say about what's happened initially in those couple of rounds. Once again, it's just kind of the same old for Bloodline. They're wanting to get through this one. I thought we would breeze through that game, but unfortunately they're having an issue, and we'll get that one figured out as soon as possible and get back into the game. But yeah, Bloodline's still looking really good here, Rab, as well, and I think it's very, very difficult for Peak Gaming to get anything under their belts here. They just seem to be outmatched and outgunned.
Yeah, agreed. It's I'm looking forward to seeing how this one does play out, right? Because it seemed like to me that they had the right idea there, Peak Gaming. Right? Okay, get the first blood, group up. Let's go towards a bomb site, for example, B. We know that the guys on Bloodline are relatively slow to hit the rotate. So, okay, head over towards B, try and get it down, play the post plants, as I struggle to say sometimes. And that's going to be the ideal situation, right? Retaking with the Krig, far from easy. I think that really is those guys' best chance of coming back in this game. So I have to see how things, of course, develop from here on out. I wonder what your take is, Tan, on the map set that we're seeing right here. I think we would have loved to have seen Standoff come into play. Yes. Of course, Standoff, Raid Express, and legendary Black Ops 2 maps. I wonder, maybe next month we get the opportunity to see it.
Yeah, hopefully. Look, I still haven't casted standoff yet. I still haven't casted it even once. Not even the challenger side. I think there was a lot of guys who maybe just sort of said, okay, well, it's only the first week that it's in. Can we kind of leave it out for now, please? And that was the case for the most part in Europe. Most teams not wanting to jump over towards that too quickly. Nonetheless, though, it will be nice to see it in next time around. We're just figuring out what's going on with the issues, and I wonder if it's worth going to a very quick commercial break. I'm not too sure if the guys behind me are in agreement with that, but we should get the issue ironed out, and I wonder if it's worth throwing ourselves to a break. So get yourself a cup of tea if you're here late on this evening, just like myself. I might go and get a coffee. Oh, actually, we're not going to a break? No, okay. Well, it sounds like we're actually going to have time to get back into this game pretty sharpish anyway. But still, you can grab yourself a cup of coffee, cup of tea. Unfortunately, I can't, though. I've got to stay here and entertain you guys, at least anyway. Thinking about some of the other maps that we could have potentially seen, so Standoff would have been one of them. Looking forward to seeing Raid, of course, when we do get to those grand finals. Thinking of anything else in particular, because Express would have been a nice one. Do you think maybe a bit big for TV2?
Good point.
Maybe.
Well, we did see Miami, huh?
that was going to be my point, leading from that. Yeah, we have seen Miami.
Express would have been good. I do wonder how they would have played out in the early rounds, right? Checkmate especially would have been interesting to see, I think, because a lot of the times in 4v4, we don't often see plants go down towards the A site. But the A site, from my perspective, if you get it down, is much easier to defend than the B-bomb site. So I think we could have seen a lot of nice plays where the offensive team tries to push through the A street, gets round to the tube area of the map, maybe gets round to the tail, and gets the job done on that side of things, planting it for A. Express, I wonder what bomb site would be favoured, but that's my favourite thing about a lot of these Black Ops 2 maps, is that there's so many good angles and lines of sight. We'll see it on the Raid in the final map here, but I mean on something like Express, when you can get the bomb down over towards A, if you plant it on the side nearer the train, there's this very nice angle over towards the catwalk where you can see between the thing of the catwalk when you stand on top of the train. Angles like that, I mean, some of these teams maybe have been aware of, some of these teams may not have been, and that can be the difference maker on some of these maps. And Standoff, there's many things like that as well. And I'm sure we see it on these maps as well. And of course, given the game's only been out for 6 or 7 months as opposed to 9 years, you get to know these things a little bit slower, I suppose, Tom.
Yeah, it's not quite the same transition into the brand new maps as it is for a lot of teams. And I think that's why we've seen maybe Raid become a big fan favourite, not just, obviously in the 2v2s, it seems quite, a lot of people seem to enjoy playing that map. But when it does come down to those 4v4 typical competitive modes, Raid is one of the most picked maps, full stop. It is a very, very good map to play out. And the fact that, and I was having this conversation, it's 9 years old, and yet it still plays so well on Search and Destroy. It plays well on Hardpoint, as it always did as well. It plays well on Control, which was not a game mode when it was out originally as well. It speaks a lot to how good the maps were in Black Ops 2.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I mean, that's just a very impressive thing to me, the fact that not only is it a great Hardpoint map, and I know there's been some questions about it lately in Hardpoint, the fact that kitchen, then to garage, then to basketball, they're all kind of money hills in a way. Like it's very difficult to break a lot of them in a row. But I mean, look, at the same time, for Search, it plays fantastic. We're going to see that here in the grand finals relatively soon. And I mean, Control, that's the impressive thing, right? Because to me, Raid is probably the best capture the flag map of all time. It's certainly up there when that was played back in the day.
Yeah,
maybe not
Slums.
the best. You could definitely contest that, I'm sure. Slums has got to be up there. Standoff's got to be up there. Yeah. Definitely deserves a mention, but the fact that it's done it for all those game modes, and obviously spectacular in Search and Destroy as well, the angles on that map, I mean, we've seen a lot of interesting things that are going to be pulled out, and I do want to see what the teams decide to do, because there's a lot of good things you can do over towards, I mean, both bomb sites, the A bomb site now especially. We've seen some plays where most teams generally try and get control of Laundry, plant it for that side, and work it from there. But you very much can plant for the other side, have a guy open stairs who can get the perfect angle on the bomb. So I think that a lot of the time, getting the bomb down is generally a recipe for success, and we'll probably see the teams continue to do that here when we get back into our map in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, and it has been very interesting to see Moscow. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see some new maps brought into the pool potentially. I was lucky enough actually to cast a bit of standoff just in the COD Mobile Champs in Europe actually, because obviously back on mobile they bring in some of the older maps that can have done for quite some time. They've been really concentrating on that. I think we've seen firing range, then standoff. So, I mean, look, so many different maps from so many different games, and it's still it played really fun on that. A lot more snipers on COD Mobile, it has to be said. But at the same time, yeah, it still played really, really fun. A lot of stuff going on towards the tank side of the map, of course, when it does come to S&D. That was kind of where things were concentrated. And yeah, I wonder if the meta will sort of advance and develop as things do continue, of course, in Black Ops Cold War and that side of things. But I do believe we're nearly ready to get into the game. We're just about there by the sounds of things, or are getting on our way. And we'll be jumping into the game. And what I've been told is going to be a completely fresh game number 2, of course, with Bloodline in the lead on the series. Any predictions, though, if Bloodline get through against TB on Raid? Is it too hard of a one to predict, or what are you feeling from what you've seen of both these two teams so far?
My take is got to be heavily favoured towards TB, right? Like, we've seen them use the 74Us to great effect, and I do worry about Bloodline on Raid if they do make it through, as to whether they can actually make that work with the double crit. They might decide to pull out a 74U. That might be the play they decide to make, but TB are going to be fast. They're going to be aggro. They're going to be hitting sites. They're going to be getting bombs down. And we'll see from Bloodline really in the first map they played here on Moscow. And now we did start to see it at the start of the second map that we're going to hop into here in just a second, that they play relatively passive, right? And that's probably not going to work on a map like Raid against a team that's much more aggressive. That's my perspective at the very least. Maybe it won't play out like that at all. What do we know here really, Tad, at the end of the day? But of course, they've got to get the job done first. And I mean, it's not going to be easy, right? We've seen, of course, a fresh restart comes in. That round that it did drop out, and it was a 2 versus 1 for the side of Peak Gaming. So, you know, a restart seems to be a decent way to go about things here, with Bloodline already in the advantage.
Yeah, it seems to make sense. As a fair outcome, I would say. We just completely restart that one, so nobody in the lead. And first to 6 once again. Hopefully we're nearly ready to go into this one, just getting the lobby sorted out. You can't help it sometimes where servers and stuff sort of happen. You know, we've been having this conversation this evening with the production team and all the guys behind the scenes about how, you know, online and being able to do this online and these online broadcasts, it does have its positives in terms, you know, tournaments organizers have realized how much easier it is to put these kind of things on, but at the same time, you of course do have technical issues. Not that you don't have technical issues at LAN events, is all in fairness, but you know, you've got servers to contend with, etc., updates that could drop at any given moment. Who knows? But we should be loading in very, very shortly. I'm trying to think of any other maps in particular I'd like to see them remaster for this one. I think we're maybe
that's a great question.
Possibly a little bit late in the cycle now for anything else to come in, I would say. I think standoff coming in is going to be the final one, I would say. I wouldn't hate
probably
Slums.
To the rotation. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Slums come back. I think the 2v2 search on Slums could work. I don't think it would work for fours. It never really did back in the day. One map that a lot of people have been talking about, I know this is all from Black Ops 1. I'd love to, or Black Ops 2, sorry. I'd love to see if some of the Black Ops 1 maps come back as well.
Like, Black Ops 1 maps could we say?
I mean, what do you think? I loved Havana. Havana was played a competitive back then.
I'm trying to remember. Honestly, every year that we move on to a new game, I just completely forget how things have worked out. But Bloodline are actually going to be 1-0 up in the Search and Destroy, so we are kind of going to go from where we were. Going back to your question very, very quickly, though, before we jump into it, I'm trying to remember. There was quite a few, actually, wasn't there? I'm trying to think. You know, Grid was actually not too bad. That was a very small
Grid.
map.
WMD,
was
another
good.
banger.
Yeah. Oh, loads, mate. So many good maps. Villa. I don't know if we'll bring that one back. Nonetheless, we're back into this one. On to Moscow. And it will be a 1-0 lead for Bloodline here. Heading into it. Just unfortunate for the side of Peak Gaming that they did have that advantage when things did drop out. I don't think anything intentional would have happened at that kind of crazy advantage, of course. But two players have just completely walked past each other.
I was going to say, what's going on with this mini-map right here?
Ships have passed in the night. That is wild.
Podsy's
going to
through.
get behind.
But JCH is picked off all too early, and Podsy's also done more ring around around. He's getting shot in the back. Oh my god, it's going to happen.
Oh, how does that happen?
Oh, the most unfortunate round I think I've ever seen from Podsy. He sneaks all the way through, hits the outskirts, and then gets shot in the back. He can't make it up. And Bloodline straight back into the action, taking a 2-0 edge in a round that's, you know, it really could have gone their way. And as you say, ships passing in the night, precisely.
A very, very tough one. We head back into it. Bloodline 2-0 up now, as mentioned. Do you remember Cracked on Black Ops 1?
I remember Cracked. I remember Launch. I remember Radiation.
Launch was a good map. Launch was a really
Launch
good
was a
map,
good one. Nuketown. The original incarnation.
Oh, Launch was great. I love Launch. Anyway, Peak's going to find... Not
there
one,
it
number
is.
2. There you go. And that's a round on the board, and map number 2 now. On Moscow, and well, yeah, there you go. Holds the angle. Don't expect it in good skies. I mean, he doesn't even get a bullet off. There you go. Peak deals with them without taking one iota of damage. 2-1 to Bloodline now. 1-0 in the series. As mentioned, they did get around before the game did drop previously. That's why we're saying 2-1.
And there it is. I mean, wow, interesting, because this is what we've been saying about how do you beat Bloodline. You get up close and personal with a 74U and you take them down. That's exactly what happens that last round for JCH. He's obviously got back to the Krig now. But if it were me, I'd be taking some lessons from that, right? Thinking, okay, one of the more convincing rounds we've had so far, if I'm Peak Gaming, is actually getting the 74U out close and personal, getting the job done. But not opting for that setup here again. JCH playing from deep and Podsy holding mid. And Bloodline kind of getting caught off guard here somewhat. They're hitting a rotate out. I do like to see them playing together, but it might be time for Peak Gaming to strike here at the A site. But will it happen, Tom?
They're going to come in here for Peak Gaming. Oh, be careful, Podsy.
Be careful.
Bomb going to go down today, so Bloodline going to have to retake it. Which angle's going to work out for them best? Oh, grenade over, did some damage. JCH is going to get away. I thought he was just going to jump on it here every winner. Look, you can see Podsy, shots are in, shots are good. JCH challenges is just too predictable. Far too predictable. And every winner is ready for that every single day of the week, to be honest with you. 3-1 now. Bloodline looking to cruise through to these grand finals.
It was just way too easy for Winter right here, taking out Podsy. And this is why in these 2v2 retakes, in these kind of weird situations where you're playing back-to-back here by the bricks, it's much preferable, in my opinion, to go and try and get a kill, right? Like, stack up together, get the bomb down, hit out one side, try and get a trade, right? Because a 2v2 in that situation can be kind of dodgy when you can get pinched from multiple angles, and especially with Winter shooting like that. So if it were me, I'd like to see Peak just get the bomb down, hit into the room, play for a trade, and then try and wrap up the round from there. But it doesn't quite happen for them. JCH here on the defense, and this is my big question, right? Like, they had success with the 74U was out, but they put it away now. Maybe Podsy has it. It does remain to be seen over towards the mid, but no, another Krig. And this, I think, has really been the story of the game, I think, Tan. The Bloodline, when the Krigs are out and about, are always going to be preferred.
It does always feel like the rounds are going to go in their favour, doesn't it? When the bomb is down, they have control of a site. It feels like Peak Gaming don't really have a lot of answers to the questions that Bloodline pose. Pushing towards the back here, maybe just trying to clear it out a little bit more. Peak was having, well, a little bit of a peek down into it from the back police station. Can kind of cover a lot of different angles here, but that bomb for Bloodline, if they knew what we knew, would have been down a long time ago. But yet, they still look for that little bit of further information. But here it goes. And I think Peak Gaming have probably got a good idea at what's going on here. And now here comes the move.
So this is the play, right? Like, Skies is actually playing aggro. He's playing for some sort of information right here, and they're going to stack this up relatively close to each other. This is what you want to see in this situation. But again, 30 seconds left, 15 seconds, almost 20 seconds now have passed, and no one's near the site, Ton.
I know, they're taking their time far too much, but Good Skies has been gunned. And now every winner's going to have to come up with a clutch here. JCH going to go for the defuse, but every winner's surely going to be pushed now from one side. Does he get away? Not quite.
Wow.
And the defuse, I think, came in time.
Suspect though, like that was not easy by any means.
No. I think the thing is that if every winner just gets the bomb diffuser, that's the round. I think that's all he's playing for, that.
Absolutely.
Shots. Yeah. JCH getting the job done. 2-2 in game, but of course, as mentioned, Bloodline did have a 1-0 lead before the game did drop previously. So 3-2 now. Not quite done and dusted for Peak Gaming yet.
That was one they would have loved to have won if you were Bloodline right there. You had the opportunity maybe, the retake was slow, but Sky's getting peaked to something that you can't really afford to happen, right? The idea is, I'm talking about the playing for some information, but that's what you want, right? You want the information, you want to be able to back down and play with your teammate for the trade. But, I mean, nice shots when it matters. And JCH continuing along a similar vein. Winter dropping again. Skies at 1v2. This to tie up the game for Peak Gaming if they can close this one out. And this is what we're talking about. Go towards B, get it down. Retaking with a Krig is not going to be easy unless Skies can kill the plant when he's not going for it. Firmly, you would favour right now Peak Gaming to tie up this second map of our series.
Oh, it's looking that way. This is not a good situation for Good Skies, is it at all? Oh, shot's going to come in there, and now Peak. JCH knows exactly where he's pushing from. Podsy has kind of got him caught a little bit, and there you go. 3-3, Peak Gaming. Clawing their way back into this one.
I've got to say, some nice adaptations, right? And it feels like Bloodline getting caught off guard a little bit. We've seen most of their successful rounds have come where they're playing alongside each other, executing together, and not the case these last couple of rounds. Picked up one by one. I mean, when Winter goes down, he's really been their star player, but it's JCH on a 3 spree, game tied up 3-3, but of course, Bloodline with the 1-0 edge still in the series. They need just 3 more rounds to send themselves to the grand finals with a chance to play for all those prizes.
Bloodline having a backhand down here. It's been a slow few rounds from them in the grand scheme of things, but there you go. Every winner wins one. Can he win the second as well? Oh my word.
That's what he does.
Yeah. He's been one of the best individual players we've seen this evening, I would say. Shots are good.
No doubt.
Expects JCH to snap onto it. Very, very nice from every winter. He will find the kill. And there you go. Another round over towards Bloodline puts them that little bit closer. 4-3 now. And they are 2 rounds away from the grand final here.
But to me, if they do make the grand final, the concern is that this has been the every winter show, right? With the Krig, gonna need to see something from Skies here in these last couple of rounds, right? If he can start putting on a bit of a show, then I can be confident that they can at least put up a fight against TB. But that's the thing with TB. They had Goats, they had Swerfy, putting down a lot of damage to both of them. And here it's been Winter that's really been getting Bloodline over the line in a load of these rounds. And again, an interesting setup, but I do like to see this right from Bloodline. A lot of information comes through, looking mid, looking B, looking A, but you kind of know what Peak Gaming are going to do. And we've seen this a lot, right? Like, it seems like teams are scared of they're going to get flanked, and I'd like to see one of these teams on their defenses just go for some sort of hit through. But not going to happen here as of yet. Gunfight's going downtown, but the flank is about to come in from Winter, and this could spell disaster. We've seen it before.
We have. Oh, every winner's in a really good spot. Good Skies will find one. We'll back on down, and there he is. Every winner comes on through. 5-3 now overall. Good shots from Good Skies. That just sets it up a little bit, and then, well, Podsy is already the weakest man on the planet. And the round is done. There we go. 5-3 now, as mentioned. Bloodline won a round before the lobby did drop. Just to keep you guys informed. And it is now, as the scoreboard will show you in a second, 5-3, 1-0 in the series. And Bloodline need one more round to get to that grand final.
Exactly. It's a series point. And JCH, again, I mean, I think adaptation has been the story of this game, and it just hasn't come through for Peak Gaming for the majority of what we've seen. But Bloodline taking things slow. It's time to go. They're going to hit that. They're going to hit the go button. That's what I was going for. Over towards A. And Every Winter in position to get the job done. One round away. Bomb in their favour. No doubt they are the team to lose this at the current time. It's in their hands.
Peak Gaming going to have to go in for the retake here. JCH is the first one possibly there. Via Eskies and Good Skies has got it pretty much covered. Is he going to get some bad timing here? But you can keep an eye on Podsy making the push here, and I think that's what JCH is waiting on. But he may have waited a little bit too long here. 20 seconds now, gives up Eskies, looks to make the same push. 15 seconds. Not enough
There's no time here, unfortunately. There's no one even on the site. Good Skies gets one. That is going to do it. Podsy on the bomb, he's trying his best, but it's not going to be enough. And Bloodline take it 6-3, locking up a 2-0 victory here on the Moscow. They will match up into the grand finals in this North American side, Tannen. I think highly deserved at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, they look the absolute better team there throughout the whole entire series. Specifically on Moscow, I mean, look, we'll be moving over to Raid and we'll see how they do in the grand finals against TB. But I mean, that was a solid performance, wasn't it? Very, very well played. And just the Krigs, I mean, they just had the better shots with them. They were challenging the right places. They were getting it done. Not with a little bit of a scare from Peak Gaming, has to be said, who were on the comeback potentially, but just could not continue things after that initial comeback. Really, really well played by Good Skies and, of course, Every Winter now. Just a great performance, but, you know, it has to be said, Peak Gaming, you get yourself to the semi-finals, you earn yourself some COD points and a little bit of cash for your evening's work. But it ends here with Every Winter really being the standout for Bloodline. Good Skies had his moments, but Every Winter, as mentioned, really the standout single player, I would say, so far of the whole tournament, to be honest with you. Has looked very, very good. Heading over towards Raid, I wonder how those Krigs going to work just as well.
Yeah, look at those shots coming in from Winter right there. Just ideal stuff. And the teamwork was really playing to perfection at times here for Bloodline. That round, especially when the trades came through, that was a key one. And I mean, yeah, this finished off the job right here as Podsy had no chance. The firing squad was in. And, well, there we go. The bracket has arrived, Tom.
Bloodline against TB will be the grand final here this evening for the Sony Open Series finals in Call of Duty Cold War. And what a game that was from Bloodline. They look really, really impressive, and honestly the Krigs are something that's going to be scary for the side of TB when we move over towards Raid, especially those opening picks is kind of where we're going to see them for the most part. So let's see how they do work out. It's been a blast so far, and we have one more game to go. We will be crowning our winner after this short break. Do not go anywhere. The grand finals are coming up just after this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sony Open Series Finals here, live on Twitch and YouTube, and we are excited to delve into the grand finals of the 2v2 Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War S&D tournament. My name is Chris Dunn, joined by Tactical Rab, and very, very happy to jump into this final with you, my man. It's been a blast so far.
Absolutely. What a day of Call of Duty it has been without the European finals, now the North American finals, and a cracking grand finals ahead of us. Our final series of the day, Bloodline taking on TB. Both of these teams rocked through their brackets, won every single map they have, well, not necessarily every single map, but won a map on every single map that has been played so far. But now it's time for Raid Ton. That might be a different story for these teams.
It may well be. It's obviously a different map every single round in one best out of three, the same map 3 potential times. And of course, it does make for an interesting dynamic, doesn't it? You got to be good at Raid if you want to win the. Well, you got to be good at every single map, but you've got to be good at it multiple times over, in fairness. So we are going to be heading over towards Raid. It's a bit of a different format, as mentioned, as to what we are usually used to, but nonetheless, it has created some interesting competition. But it is going to be Bloodline taking on TB. And I know you've been leaning towards TB throughout, but I am curious. It's two differing styles, of course, and I'm interested to see what kind of style both these two teams do bring to Raid.
Yeah, there's so many different ways you can play this, right? We saw in our last grand finals a lot of teams opting to go for some early mid-map aggression. That can work out very well with the 74Us, and that's what I would expect to see somewhat on Bloodline if they want to switch things up, because I just cannot see a two-quick setup working here in the long term. TB are very solid. They're going to adapt. Seems like the Twitch chat agree with our thought process, or at least mine, Ton. Yeah, TB 71%, which is one of the highest percentages we've seen so far today. They looked very good in that semi-final. There's no beating around the bush there.
No, there isn't. They did look really, really good. But as did Bloodline, so I'm just curious to see how the styles do mesh together, of how they play. Bloodline maybe a little bit slower, but using the Kriegs for the most part, whereas TB were very 7-4U orientated. So I am very curious to see how things do break down. I can see both playstyles working in certain ways. And it's going to be super interesting to see how things do break down. But you guys at home think TB are going to take it. Rab's going to go TB as well, so I'm already lost it in the out of 3, I suppose. But I'm going to go with Bloodline in this scenario. I don't know. I just think Everwinter looked very, very impressive throughout that whole Moscow. And let's see if we can transfer that over towards Raid. He was very impressive, and I'd like to see if it does continue. We should be loading into this grand final very, very shortly. The small matter of 13,000 COD points for first place to be decided, of course, as we do head into this grand finals. And yeah, it's been a hell of a day, hasn't it? You know, we kicked things off at 5 p.m. local time in the UK for the EU side of things, of course, and now we're just ticking over to midnight, and we are nailing into the grand finals for the NA side of things. So it's been quite the evening spent with my wonderful friend Tactical Rab. It's been a good laugh, at least, anyway, hasn't it?
Absolutely, it's been a good time, Tan, and yeah, perfect way to finish things off here on some Raid. Can't wait to dive into things in a couple of seconds. I do wonder whether one of these teams will, of course, we've just seen Bloodline just win a series. You've got to wonder whether TB, they haven't played for a little bit. I wonder what they've done to stay warm here for this grand final. So they've gone and played some 1 versus 1 free-fall together. Have they hopped into some public matches? I'm not sure exactly what these guys have been up to, but Bloodline, of course, coming off a hot victory. Maybe a little bit of cool-down time for TB. They're going to have to try and find themselves back into this game 1 early on.
Yeah, possibly. I hope they have been keeping their shots warm. Maybe a little bit of league play just to keep the competitive juices flowing, if you like. And well, hopefully we'll be getting into the game very, very shortly, at least anyway. But yeah, it was really good from Bloodline, and I wonder, just rolling straight in to this next game, that will benefit them, you would think. But as mentioned, there's plenty of COD points on the line for these two, so interested to see who can take these. But if you watched any of this tournament so far and thought to yourself, hey, we could definitely get that. If you're sitting in a Discord with your mates right now watching this, saying, who are these two idiots talking over this? And at the same time, you're saying, well, I think we could beat some of these guys. Compete.playstation.com is definitely the route you want to head down. Get yourself involved and sign up for any of the tournaments that we have going on over the next few months, of course. Not just Call of Duty. If you're interested in the other games that are on the site, get yourself signed up for those as well. Plenty of prizes to be won. And thank you to PlayStation for putting these on as well. It's been great fun, and hopefully we will be going towards the conclusion of the NA side of things here in 2v2 Search and Destroy on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War in just a second. Now, Raid, from what we've seen previously, played a few different ways, didn't it, Rab? It was mostly about the Krigs, I want to say, when it did come down to things on that in the previous finals when we watched in EU, but it was nonetheless very, very interesting to see how 2v2 did develop, but it was very much about being aggressive with that plant once again, and then setting yourself up with that.
Absolutely, that tends to be the way to go, and we saw it was the only series that we've seen of the day that went the distance. All 3 maps was earlier today in that European Grand Finals on Raid. Whether we'll see that happen again here in the North American side remains to be seen. Very well may be the case, however, and here we dive into things. Very much looking forward to how these two teams set up, because mid, A, B, everything is an option. You can play things so many different ways. The team that is better prepared and has the better gun skill is probably going to walk away with our grand prize this time around, Tan.
Yeah, it is really going to come down to that, and we'll figure out who is going to walk away with it after maybe just 2 maps of Raid, but with any luck, we'll get 3. Let's see how things are going to go break down here. Bloodline, the player to watch out for, has to be every winter. On CB, it has to be GOAT, and we're going to be watching GOAT straight from the rip. It's a B hit immediately, and look how far apart they do play it on the side of TB. Bloodline very much about playing together a little bit more.
Absolutely, yeah. TB, it's nice to see this aggression that comes back into play, because last game on Moscow, loads of Krigs on the map. At times it was somewhat frustrating to watch how slow the plays were developing. But TB don't like to mess around, or do they? Because TB's still setting up mid, but Good Skies is going to get taken out straight away, and now every winter has no idea what to do, because he saw the shots get fired right at the start of the round down mid. And look at this positioning from Goat. Oh my word, the finesse from Goat once again. He loves to do this stuff. We saw it earlier on in the day as well, finessing around everything to get the work done. And wow, I mean, look at this play right here. Doesn't need his teammate flying around corners. And the first round goes the way of TB. The 74U's coming to play once again. And just no answer back as of yet. And I mean, in that final series that they played, or the final map of the second series they played, that we saw of the day on Moscow, they died like 1 time in the entire game. They were like 12-1 combined. So maybe they'll have that again here. I certainly hope it doesn't. We're looking for a great grand finals.
Everyone now making the transition over towards it. Aggressive from TB, playing together, surprisingly. Swerfy's going to be the first one there. Is he going to get the check in time? Not quite. Everyone that gets away, and that's being planted. Obviously, for Laundry, Goat's going to find one on the Good Skies. They get aggressive off the bomb plant as well, but is everyone actually going to catch them? Finds one. Can he find the second on the Goat, who's just playing the shoulders once again? TB with a cracking start to this one. Goat really feeling it. 2-0 now.
Goat's movement is just incredible. He finishes that off with the pistol as well. I mean, what a play. gets the trade. Every Winter making the transition to the 74U. He's clearly been listening to what I've been having to say, Tan, thinking that it's time to pull something different out. But still, I mean, here comes Goat once again, over towards the blue van, gets the kill. Winter gets, I mean, look at this. This is a situation that you feel like he's in the advantage, flies around the corner and connects with the burst. Nothing that every Winter could do right there, and a 2-0 early edge to TB. They're looking strong here, Tan, I'm not going to lie.
They are looking very, very good, and Goats have been a big reason as to that. Bloodline just haven't been able to keep up with the pace, have they? Although they're getting pacey through the middle here, they're going to hit it, but Goat was ready for it. Spots one, spots the second, shots into both of them here. Gonna just try and back on down. He's managed to get away with it.
Skies.
Oh, my word. He was so weak. But Goat will get this down. I mean, he doesn't care. This man's just going to finesse it somehow, some way. What is going on? What is this gunfight? Oh my goodness me, how has that happened?
Oh my god.
How has that happened?
I gotta be kidding me. Sky's just made like one of the most boisterous plays I think I've ever seen. He just flies straight out. He's like, you know what, Goat, you're weak, you're on the bomb. I'm not letting you get away with it. Sky just comes flying through. Somehow they don't see each other. He's pushing his enemy across the map right there. And another round, man. I don't know what to say. It seems like maybe Skies and Winter not so comfortable when they have to pull out the SMGs.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I thought, setting up with these Krigs would have worked out, but it really has not so far. TB are running away with this grand final so far. I'll have to be careful.
It seems like they know the angles, know the setups. I mean, Swerfy over there. Goat knows exactly what's going on here. Gets the first. And Good Skies caught in a tough spot. If Swerfy just peeked out there, he probably has the kill. But patience, nice to see from TB. The Goat is on the hunt, there's no doubt about it. Gunfight about to ensue.
Yeah. He's going to be throwing shoulders left and right. TB win another 4-0 here on Raid. And, well, we might be packed up within the next 15 minutes or so here, Rab, because this one has been very, very quick so far. My prediction of Bloodline looking pretty slow at the moment, has to be said.
There's always time. There's always time. But that's the thing, right? As I said at the start of the game, only one death was had in TB's last game, and they're on for a similar streak right here. It's kind of incredible to see. And this is how this tournament format, it can benefit some teams and hurt others, right? Because clearly Bloodline, with the Krigs in hand, much more comfortable on those long-range maps. I'm sure they were loving Checkmate, they were loving Miami. Moscow was working out for them well as well. But here on Raid, finally the chickens may be coming home to roost. Another retake. Perfect bomb positioning for TB. Swerfy's over at this spot. It's a tough gunfight to win, but if every Winter isn't prepared, it could certainly happen.
Oh, Swerfy's seeing him, and every Winter did not replicate that at all, did he? No idea. Yeah, would have seen Goat yet.
Oh my god.
Oh, you can do it too. Swervy just staying alive. He's big chilling next to the pool. He's got a grenadine in one hand. Yeah, he's in a. Oh my goodness me! That was the strangest gunfight I've ever seen in my life. Well, the round is going to go over towards TB. Bloodline will have to back down. 2 kills that round. Not bad. Confidence. Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not really got you much further. Look at this. Everyone now well cleaned up. Swerfy, that took a outstanding amount of bullets to try and get that one done. Nonetheless, Skies has been in 2 of those gunfights so far, right? Up against Goat over towards the ringside, now in Tiki against Swerfy. But I mean, here we go, Tan. This has been a rapid fire grand final so far. Combined Bloodline 3 in 9 at the present time. It's going to be a mid-hit. What's going to happen here? The nades come through. They escaped just in time, but look at TB on the hunt. They are going straight into Zig. We're in the van.
Not messing around. Oh, and every Winter's just going to get caught out.
They've just been caught out so often, haven't they?
Yeah, now Good Skies. 1v2 to keep the dream alive in this game 1. And it's looking slow. A great setup. I mean, look at this setup. It's deadly. They know the bomb's down at pillars. Swerfy and Go, the crossfire from hell.
Oh god, I would not want to run into these guys in league play. Not one bit. Good Sky's now been spotted. Good Sky's about to be shot.
I feel like they're playing with their food right now.
Yeah, they really are, aren't they? 2v1 potentially coming up here. We're still parked in the van, but nonetheless, Bloodline will fall in game number 1.
Wow.
6-0 to TB. My goodness me, what a performance that was.
Just incredible. I mean, Goat are just showing, well, Goat and Swerfy, of course, showing their class, right? We've seen them since the very start of the day, putting on a clinic on Miami. They make it work there. They come into Moscow, they get the job done there, and Raid really seems to be a comfort pick for them. They know exactly what they're going to do, offense and defense. They've made it work over towards A, certainly made it work on mid, especially on the defenses, hitting that aggressive a couple of times now. Perfect position to, well, mid map is just so important on Raid, because the way the map is relatively, it's not a small map by any means, but mid gives you access to everywhere. You can get from mid down to open stairs, you can get from mid through pillars to the A-bomb site, you can go everywhere you want. Mid control is what you've got to fight for, and if you're defense, you've got a better chance of getting it because you spawn a little bit closer to the middle of the map. And well, Goat have been doing a great job along with his teammate Swerfy, of course, taking control of it. That it's not just the strategy, it's not just the play calls, it's the gun skill as well. And that's clearly in favour of the guys on TB right now, Tom.
Yeah, it is. Look, they've just been setting the pace. Worked out in their favour. Swerfy Nelly messing up that gun skill that you were talking about there, Rab, but very much has come to the forefront of all of these rounds, just being the challenges, it's just been the pace. And it's been very hard for Bloodline to keep up with. Of course, we will change things round and move over towards a host on the other side of things now. I'm not too sure where the first one did start, but nonetheless, that was impressive. And you can't really blame it on anything else apart from just TB being the better team. And I feel like this raid may well be done and dusted. And I suppose it could come down to the fact that Bloodline, you know, they may look really good on some of the other maps, and maybe raid is their worst. That could be one of the scenarios, couldn't it, when you come into that grand final and you play it this way. But TB have just looked fantastic, haven't they, all the way through. And we weren't sure on how they were playing on Miami. We weren't sure about the 7-4Us over towards A. But look, here they are, 1-0 up in the grand final. I mean, who can question it now? Maybe the 7-4Us are the meta when it does come down to play in Miami. Who knows? Maybe it gets into pro play next.
Absolutely, yeah. This is what I think, right? When these, it's all about the trade. It's all about playing as a team, and the 74U allows you to do that so effectively. You can hit out a cut if you want. It's a much more versatile weapon than the Krig, and you're worried about hitting certain things. And it's not like the 74U doesn't shoot straight at range. There's not too many gunfights you're going to get into on raid where the 74U can't at least be competitive. So I certainly see why those guys are favouring it right here, and clearly they're the much better team as it seems right now with that weapon in hand than the Bloodline guys, only one map away. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter they 6-0'd, they could have 6-5'd. It's still only one map at the end of the day, and if Bloodline can regain here quick, but they're going to have to play a lot more cohesive as a team, right? We saw a couple of times that map getting picked off individually one by one, and no, that's just not going to cut it right against a team with the caliber of TB. Showing us some great Call of Duty. We saw some great Call of Duty in Europe earlier on, but TB certainly doing their best to match it here in the North American side.
Yeah, very much so. They have really been at the races so far. When it comes down to raid, and I believe we're nearly ready to load into map number 2, which could be the last map of the evening. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast all the way through. If any of you stuck all the way through from Europe, all the way to this North American Grand Finals, then thank you so much, because it has been a long day. But we are nearly ready to get into map number 2 of this grand final, which I said could be the very last one, and we are diving into it. I think it is the last one. The way that TB played there, we say, yes, okay, the first map, yes, it was 6-0. It wouldn't have mattered if it was 6-5, but the fact that you're going on to the same map once again kind of makes a difference, doesn't it?
It's not the prettiest sign, certainly, and well, here are TB on the defense. But here we go, right? Like, we're seeing this early aggression from Bloodline. Well, it was aggressive up until 1 minute 15 on the clock. Then it was no longer aggressive. And look at this crossfire, right? Like, this is what the guys on TB do. They look at each other across mid. Good Skies has no idea. And this is how you play it, because as soon as you get a little tinsy bit of info, you can immediately react if you're TB. You can hit A, you can hit B, you can do whatever the hell you want. But Everywinter's getting the bomb down. They have no idea as of yet, but Goat is here, and he's going to fly straight out.
Finds the kill, but Good Skies finds one back. Is he going to expect the close challenge from Goat, though? Did he hear him?
Oh, my word.
Sneaky little beaver. Oh, he re-challenges after a second. Oh, Goat. He does seem very difficult to beat on Search and Destroy, doesn't he? It's 1-0 already. That's 7 rounds in a row here on Raids S&D for TB.
Absolutely not a man you want to be running into right now. I mean, he's absolutely on fire. Perfect play, to be honest. The back and forth. Skies didn't know where he was coming from, but that's the thing, when if you're Skies, you get the first kill from that bottom up position. You know that Goat knows where you are. And those gunfights are not the best ones to take with a Krig, right? And Goat knows exactly what he's doing. I'd love to see there Skies go for a reposition, right? Maybe go down towards mid, go towards the driveway, for example. Just switch things up a bit, because making it too easy for Goat, if you give him 1v1 gunfights, he's not going to have a hard time winning it. He does it again, 2-0. And this Grand Finals moves to 7-0. Could we see what we're thinking about here, Tom?
The big fat 12-0.
It's on the cards.
It would take something. TB, though. Getting this bomb down towards B. Good Skies in Everywinter now. Well, they need to retake the smoke as the cover, and now Swerfy up top. He's going to be the one that really dictates this one, but Goat gets out as well. This is such a hard retake for Bloodline.
Especially with the Krigs, right? This is what we discussed. Retaking sites is not easy at the best of times, especially if you've got to get into bottom pool house and Goat playing it like that. You're going to have a hard time. Swerfy and Goat backed up with each other. And I mean, look at Blood Skies right now. He's in basketball hoping for a flank. It's not going to happen, lads. Again, there's no time. Skies finally makes his way to the site, but with 10 seconds left, it is all but over. And Goat once again playing them like a fiddle. Everywinter coming up from behind. And the retake once again, Tan. You gotta say, Winter might get 1 kill. He might get 2 kills. It doesn't matter. He's going to fly off the map. And TB take another round. And I mean, you gotta think the retake's got to come in a little bit quicker than that, Tan.
Yeah. You got to be a lot more snappier.
Snappy shots, but
yeah, well, I know. You have to be a lot faster. It feels like this has been the story of it all evening, though, hasn't it? It just feels as if all the teams have taken such a long time to go for these retakes, and it's made a big difference to a lot of the rounds.
In TB, they don't mess around. The bomb goes down, they're there in a flash. And if anything, they don't even let the bomb get down. They just kill you before you can even plant the thing.
Yep.
And that's what they're doing again. Swerfy making his way up through the left-hand side over to the white van. Good Skies stuck in a difficult position, but Swerfy knows better. He backs up. He knows he doesn't want to take a 1 versus 2 fight. And going for this full wrap. So Swerfy's in a nice spot, kind of a one-and-done type spot, right? Like, if they both come at you, you're expecting to probably get one and then get traded.
Yeah.
That's not a bad way to play these situations, because... Oh, but there we go then. He jumps up from the spot. And that is his downfall. Could Goat see him here from pillars? He would have been able to if he'd have looked at it.
Oh,
Goat is going to get the first. Eventually. Oh, no. Another round, Ton?
Surely not. Goat now in the 1v1 against Good Skies, who really does have the advantage here, though. The bomb is down. He's got the Krig at distance. Shot's going to come through there. Oh, Goat's just about going to escape. And, he's been stuck. Well, there you go. And eventually...
Finally a round.
A round goes over to Bloodline. They definitely did deserve that one, it has to be said. And this opens it up, doesn't it? That's the difference with the Krig, isn't it? If that was a 7-4U versus 7-4U, maybe that round goes in a different direction, but the Krig and that scenario works out. 2-1 now to TB. Bloodline trying to get back into this game. Still going to be difficult. Still going to be difficult, especially after the 6-0 in the first. You kind of feel like things have not worked out fantastically. But they get the first round at the 9th time of asking.
It's a tough stat to talk about, but it's exactly right. And that's the thing. You have to wonder whether the patience Comes back to Horner, but Winter has an opportunity to shoot Goat in the back here, but will he look right? He doesn't, and they're back-to-back right now in mid. Goat sees him, and this should be a guaranteed kill. Takes it down, and he knows that the B bomb site is cleared. That is the awareness you love to see, right? He knows that that player came from B. He knows that his teammate will be over by Laundry, and this all but guarantees the round. And that's the thing. The previous round that Bloodline finally got on the board, some over-aggression, right? Some impatience from TB. Swervy stands up looking for a kill, gets picked. And Goat in a similar position tries to run out that red door and ends up getting stuck. But this time, they slow it down. They get mid-control, as they love to do. And a 1 versus 2 again. And Swervy doing his best to stay alive. And it's the classic TV setup, finessing their life to perfection. 3-1 TB again, Ton.
They just look on a different level right now. They really, really do. And how can you even see them losing many more rounds than this? This is just being so clinical from the side of TB. And as I said, they just play their lives so well. It's the hallmark of a very, very good search and destroy player.
Absolutely. It's just the awareness. It's everything about their game, which just looks on top of the world right now. And, I mean, they're going to be so hard to beat. It's a 3-1 edge. I like the aggression though, right? But again, the Krigs come into play. A little bit of a split from TB. And we're seeing this play that we saw used to some degree earlier over towards that B site. The defensive player just kind of sitting there. And it's the type of thing that Goat tends to like to do, sit in a corner. Oh, look at this cheeky angle as well. Getting some information.
That is literally pickles, isn't it?
But he will be giving up the plant as a result.
Yeah.
Unless he picks out right now when he's going to.
Is he going to pick out in time? Oh, Goat is actually going to get traded. Good Skies was watching it. Swervy now in the 1 versus 2. To make it 3-2. Smoke down, he wouldn't, would he?
He wouldn't do a J from earlier, but Skies has read this like a book and he takes him down, and it's a second round for Bloodline. To fair play. Again, where we see TB get called off, Tan, it's in these situations where they get slightly aggro, they're not there for the trades. And Good Skies with the beams of range. When this guy's in position to hit some shots and he's lined up ready for it, this guy does not mess around. 5 in 3 for him, but 1 in 4 from every Winter, who really was the star of the semi-final, number 2. Not working out for him so far in the grand final, but at least Bloodline giving themselves a chance to come back in this series.
Somewhat of a chance. Somewhat. 3-2 now. It has to be mentioned that that is really what? 2 out of 11 rounds they've managed. Bomb's going to go down to B here. Are they going to expect just a mansion push? I like this split, you know. Because they're really not going to expect Swervy all the way over there, are they?
And this is perfect. Swervy's going to do a similar thing to before, probably, and hit Tiki in the late rounds.
Did Go just get bad timing? No, he didn't. Eventually, we'll find every winner now. Well, I mean, Good Skies is in the worst possible position. The flex coming through.
Stuck him with a nade.
The fadeaway. 4-2. And Goat hears him coming, doesn't he? Hipfire always going to win that one. 4-2. 2 rounds away here from taking it up. Fantastic performance from TB so far, but over in NA, the Sony Open Series Finals really has belonged to TB all the way through. Odd little scary moment here and there on Miami. Outside of that, flawless, essentially.
Absolutely. They got through what was clearly a bit of a tough map for them, and now to their home territory, it seems, on Raid. As you say, 10-2 round count so far, and Sky's going to get called off once again. Every Winter in the water gets gunned down, and TB having their way with Bloodline. 5-2. 1 round away now, Tan. We find ourselves at North American Sony Open Series Finals Championship point.
We're very nearly there, aren't we? Very nearly there for TB. As you said, championship point yet. TB looking to secure the win. Which way are they going to go? Which way are Bloodline going to try and take this? Maybe I jinxed them, Rob. I feel like I jinxed them.
Well, I mean, again, a bit of a separation. Sky's sitting in middle. The only one that's really done much for them in this final map here. But Goat and Swervy playing this a little bit different, right? Skies is looking for some pressure. Does he know that they were already through? They're through Laundry. They're going to go for the full ramp. And this is where I'd be worried if I'm Winter right now. And look at that stun, like the bait stun all the way across the map to try and fake presence. And it seems to have completely baited the guys on Bloodline. Winter finds himself just chilling on open stairs with no idea there would be. He might be able to catch one here, though, if he looks to his left.
Oh, he will.
Indeed, he does.
Goat's going to fall. But which way is the other player went? Which side did he plan it for?
I'm not 100% sure. Maybe on the right-hand side. I think Swervy can see it.
Yeah, Good Skies has seen him. So if he's going to go out and challenge, keep them off it. Grenade out as well, just to buy himself some time. It's going to be challenged from two sides here, though. Swervy will fall, and Bloodline will get another round on the board. 5-3 now. It's not impossible.
Absolutely, wow.
Not impossible at all.
Not out of the question. I really thought that was going to happen there for Swervy. I mean, he finds himself in a nice spot every winter, though. Finally hitting some crisp shots in these grand finals. Nice 2 kills. Perfect timing for him. The Swervy play was tough, right? You're sat there with a 74U. You know they're on the bomb. You know they've both got Krigs. It's tough to win those fights. But all he needed was 1 kill there. And the round was probably his. But still, 5-3. We still find ourselves at championship point. But another gunfight potentially going down early, but Swifty gets through, and that could spell the end for Good Skies, and that's going to be it for him. Maybe his last round in this entire tournament. Winter spots out Swervy and takes the kill. 1v1. This time, it's against Goat, and that is not the man you want to be playing in a 1v1 with your championship life on the line.
I'm expecting some shoulders to be thrown. If Goat realizes that this gunfight's going to come through, though, every winner will fall, and TB will be your champions of the North American Sony Open Series Finals for Call of Duty, the 2v2 S&D champions here on Cold War, and very much deserve it. A cut above the rest all the way through. TB, flawless, absolutely flawless in that grand final. They look great on Miami, they look great on Moscow, they look fantastic on Raid. My prediction, well and truly out this window in front of me. Everybody else completely right, though. TB looked phenomenal.
No doubt about it. Dominant from start to finish in not just this series, but the tournament as a whole. Since we started watching them at the beginning of the day in those quarterfinals on Miami, they win that one, they run through Moscow in style, and here in the grand finals, you're not going to see too often in the grand finals a team winning 12-3 in terms of map counts, in terms of round counts, sorry, here in the 2 raids that they played on. And I mean, if anything, apart from that stick that comes in from Goat, that could have been a time that they actually potentially win that one. And it just seemed like the only time they were ever losing round stun was when they got slightly over aggressive. The kills, the cohesion, the strategies, the play calls, so much better here from TB, and they will walk away with the grand prize of $200 and 13,000 COD points. Commiserations to the Bloodline guys, but they still walk away with a healthy dose of cash and COD points in their back pocket.
Yeah, not a bad night's work for any of them at all. Swervy there, finding 2 over towards B. It was just time and time again, the aggression paid off. The 7-4U really was what got it done. Goat, though, with that in his hands, finished things off. And this is TB's route to that grand final. Of course, before this, they were competing in the previous rounds. But Rondi Nondi, thanks for the couple points. And Bloodline, all dealt with. And all dealt with pretty handily from what we've seen. Fantastic stuff from TB all the way through. And really, I mean, Goat was the player of the tournament for me, but both of them really did have a fantastic time of things. But that is not the only thing that is going on here at the Sony Open Series Finals. It's not just Call of Duty, of course. We have other things going on. Of course, on June the 28th is our next monthly finals with Mortal Kombat 11, I should say, coming on the 24th. And then tomorrow, Soul Calibur is going to be going down at 9 a.m. PT. Plenty to go through here at the Sony Open Series Finals. And what a day. If you guys want to compete in any of these tournaments, whether that be Call of Duty, whether that be Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, anything else that is on offer here from Sony, you can sign up at compete.playstation.com. Rab, it has been an absolute pleasure to be joined by yourself once again. Any closing thoughts on the 2v2 S&D scene? It's been a bit of a fun one, hasn't it?
It's been a cracking day, Tyler. It truly has been a pleasure to be casting alongside you. Some phenomenal games today. We saw some really great performances, especially I think in the European region. It was super tight at the top. It was not clear who was going to win that one. In the North American side, TB run away with things. But of course, next month, we're going to be seeing some entirely different teams. I imagine some of these teams will come back for vengeance. That's certainly true. And maybe some of you guys listening right now will be there in the grand finals, taking home all the prizes that have been on offer.
Yeah, indeed. You'd be able to splash out on the COD store. And yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. The COD points, getting involved, though, on the competitive side of things. It's a perfect introduction. For many of you who are sitting there watching, get yourself involved. There is no reason not to. But once again, thank you to everybody who has hung out in the chat all evening. Thank you to Rab for joining myself. Thank you to all the guys backstage, of course, just doing this all from homes as the pandemic rages on. Once again, thank you to you guys for watching and for everybody competing. We'll see you next time. Good night.